Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are San Diego.
Here in Los Angeles, they are thinking playoffs, and last night the veteran left-hander Ridge Hill went to the mound to take on the Padres after San Diego took game one of this series, and he shut down the Friar. 7 innings of one-run baseball for Ridge Hill. He allowed only 4 hits in his outing, and he became the first Dodger pitcher to win 10 games here in 2018. Kept the Padres off balance all night long as the Dodgers even this series up at a game apiece. Welcome back to Dodger Stadium with Mark Grant. I'm Jesse Agler. We're ready to go. Final game of the season between the Padres and the Dodgers. Only a week left in the regular year. LA's magic number is down to 7 in the West. They've got a game-and-a-half lead on the Colorado Rockies coming into play today. These are very big games for the Los Angeles Dodgers, and for the Padres, Mark, obviously an opportunity to continue to see what they've got. Hunter Renfroe has homered in the first 2 games of this series. They got something good in him.
You know, I think the Padres need to have impact players in the lineup that can put the ball in the ballpark and come through in big-time situations. Hunter Renfroe has proven that. There's been a couple of things. His stance, he feels more comfortable at the plate. The number of mistakes that he is crushing has just been unbelievable, and then the 25 home runs. This is unbelievable. Outfielder to have consecutive season with 25 more home runs since Steve Finley back in 96 and 97. Padres now to have not only him, but another outfielder, maybe another infielder that can put some runs on the board via the home run. He feels confident at the plate, and here's the thing I've discovered watching Hunter Renfroe. He doesn't have to take his A swing every time. He's so strong he can use the whole field, and you see the difference from 2017 and 2018. The big thing is, the RBIs is nice in the home runs, but how about the right-handed splits right there? Totally different story, especially the slugging percentage. He's just seeing the ball well, laying off some bad pitches. He's got good recognition of the strike zone.
He said it himself. He goes, my whole life I've hit right-handed pitching. It just didn't happen last year. He's made the adjustment, and it's paid off for him in a very big statistical way this season. Well, for the Dodgers, as they make this push towards October, they went out, they got Manny Machado via trade from the Baltimore Orioles, and a guy heading into free agency. You know what teams like when they're getting ready to offer big contracts? They like consistency. How about this?
Perennial guy who's going to hit 30 to 40 a year, driving in 100 runs. This is an impact player we're talking about for the Padres that they need a couple of guys. Well, Manny Machado is a threat every time he comes up to the plate. Dodgers got him at the deadline. It's all in for the Dodgers. Anything short of a World Series, I think, is a disappointment. That's why they got Machado. Let's see how they can contain him this afternoon.
Coming up, Joey Lucchesi on the Hill here this afternoon in Los Angeles. What does the future hold for the rookie left-hander? Andy Green lets us know when we come back from Dodger Stadium. and by Cadillac. Visit your San Diego Cadillac dealers today. Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. Final game of this 3-game series. Downstairs for more on today's starting pitcher with Bob Scanlon.
Thank you, Jesse. Joey Lucchese will be making his 3rd start of the season against the Dodgers. Now, the first 2 went fine at Petco Park. This one is very different. It's on the Dodgers' home turf. It's in a potentially playoff-implicating game. There's a different energy here, but this is exactly the test that the Padres wanted to give their young pitchers. So what makes them think that Joey Lucchese has learned enough to match up to this challenge? Andy Green explains.
Been some mechanical things we've asked of him, and we're pleased with some of the progress there. I think just experience for him has been huge, and we like him out there. We like him in this environment. We're going to see him twice more before the year's out, and we're excited about those 2 times. We'll push the stamina thing in the offseason, how hard he hits his offseason workout program, and that he's got that goal firmly established in his mind that I want to pitch 200 innings, and we'll see how close we can get him to that number, but that's a great place to be.
They feel he's ready, and Joey himself knows that he's ready. He's great at locking out obstructions and distractions. He's ready to go for this ball game. Well, it's the final face-off, final time that the Padres and the Dodgers will face each other in this season. Joey Lucchese going up against Hyun-Jin Ryu. Padres, Dodgers for the final time this season. First pitch coming up next, right here on Fox Sports San Diego.
September push has put them on the verge of clinching their 6th consecutive National League West title. It's a place the Padres are setting their sights on in the years to come. The building blocks are emerging in San Diego, and today marks the final chance for the Padres to give LA a preview of some of the future talent that could reshape the rivalry. Padres and Dodgers, the season finale begins right now. Weather at Dodger Stadium, beautiful, and the weather report brought to you by your always sunny Honda dealers of San Diego County. Clear skies and 80 degrees here in the Ravine as these 2 teams get together for the final time in 2018. The Dodgers' final regular season home game of 2018. Will Myers leading off against Hyun-Jin Ryu, and a curveball misses. We are underway, 1-0 the count.
It's good to have you, Jesse, under the sun. Baseball in Southern California. I've got a good vibe today.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And what is the vibe?
The vibe is that the Padres are going to win 2 out of 3 hopefully against these Dodgers. And it's great for these young kids, for the Padres, playing in an atmosphere like this where the Dodgers are playing for something, right? It's a good experience for them.
Myers, a .258 hitter this year. Yes, you're right. 11 home runs, and they reshuffle the rotation to make that happen. 3 rookies going this weekend for the Padres. Padre lineup this afternoon brought to you by your San Diego County Toyota dealers. You see Myers leading off. He hit 6th yesterday. Reyes and Renfroe to follow here in the first, with Hosmer, Mejia, and Galvis in the middle. Margot, Spangenberg, and Lucchesi round out the starting 9 for Andy Green's team. Padres faced Ryu in the last series between these two teams here at Dodger Stadium. Then, like now, he worked the Sunday afternoon game, and that was one of the most frustrating games I thought of the season for the Padres. They pounded out 15 hits, and they only scored 3 runs. They left 12 guys on base.
Yeah, the slugging percentage way down. That's one of the things I think the Padres have to do this afternoon. They've seen him. They know what he does. Maybe he falls into a pattern. How about a double here, a home run there? Extra base hits.
It'll be a strikeout to start as he punches Myers out to open the game. 1 away in the top of the first.
Take a look at Hyun-Jin Ryu. He's got the fastball, curveball, changeup, slider. He'll cut the fastball once in a while. He's not overpowering by any means. His fastball about 90-91, hits his spots. He's got his strikeouts, and he walks very few batters. So you're going to get strikes, not only strikes, but quality strikes from the left-hander.
Making his 3rd start of the season against the Padres, and you said it, in the previous 2, he has walked 1 batter and struck out 17. Franmil Reyes had the 12-game hitting streak come to a close in last night's ball game, but obviously one of the hottest hitters in baseball going back to the beginning of the month, and has really been about as encouraging a thing as the Padres have going right now.
How nice would it be for Franmil Reyes to go in this offseason with 20 home runs? I mean, granted, he's had a great year for a rookie. But learn some things, work for next season, and then we talked about Hunter Renfroe being an impact player. How about having double duty? How about having the double barrel working? Renfroe, Reyes in the outfield for guys who can put the ball in the ballpark and make a difference.
That's what you like out of those corner outfield spots, certainly. Trying to paint the fastball, and Ryu gets the call. Plate umpire this afternoon is Jim Reynolds. Renfroe on deck, and yeah, you're right. You put one of those guys in each corner. You put them back-to-back in the batting order. Maybe you find a big left-handed bat to go between them at some point. A lot of good options in the future, certainly. Reaching and protecting with 2 strikes.
Check out the Dodgers defense, brought to you by San Diego Cadillac dealers. We're going to focus on Chris Taylor. Chris Taylor is in left field, 16th start. Kike Hernandez in center, Matt Kemp in right. On the infield, Turner, Machado, Dozier, and Freese behind the plate, putting down the signs. Austin Barnes for Ryu.
Barnes caught Ryu when we were here at Dodger Stadium last month. His only start of that series, and this is his only start of this series. Yasmani Grandal putting his imprint certainly on the game again last night. One of 3 Dodger home runs as LA even the series with a 7-2 win here. It's interesting, last year it seemed like Barnes took a lot of playing time from Grandal. It's not been the case this season, and back-to-back strikeouts for Ryu to open the game here against Myers and Reyes.
Left fielder number 10, Hunter Renfroe.
Let's take a look at the keys to the game, brought to you by your San Diego Honda dealers.
Ruin Ryu's day. Why? Because he's 13 starts this year. This is his 14th, 5-3 with a nice 2.18 ERA. So bump up that ERA. A lot of runs early. And good first impression for Joey. Pitching in Mexico against the Dodgers, pitching at Petco Park. Now his first appearance here at Dodger Stadium. Make a good impression. Have a good day in the big leagues out here on this mound.
Not often a pitcher gets to face a team 3 times in one season in 3 different stadiums.
How about that? And the conditions much better today as well.
Oh my gosh, it was miserable. That was the first game of that series in Monterey. And Lucchesi, especially in the first couple of innings, had to work in that pouring rain. That was the game that the Dodgers, behind Walker Buehler and friends, put together the combined no-hitter. Padres would win the next 2 games in Monterey to take that series, 2 out of 3. Trying to do the same here this afternoon. Have not won a series at Dodger Stadium since the 2016 season. Hunter is homered in the first 2 games of this series. And again, that fastball away, a called strike.
Jesse, are we going to see the expanded strike zone again today on the called strikes? Because we saw it yesterday, and that pitch right there off the plate, maybe a ball and a half.
What is the circumference of the ball?
5 inches in diameter.
So 2.5?
I took a guess.
It does seem like the kind of thing you would know off the top of your head.
You know, I believe it. Diameter, circumference is all the way around, right?
I don't know.
Diameter is from one side to the other. Correct? 9 inches in diameter?
9 1/4.
Is it?
So you get your radius is the little one. That's the half.
From the middle to the outside.
Yeah. And then the circumference is the whole deal. So the Earth, for instance, is a sphere like a baseball.
Correct.
Ryu strikes out the side, saves us any more geometry talk. And we go to the bottom of the first scoreless at Dodger Stadium. Dodgers in his Dodger Stadium debut, and the Dodger lineup will begin with the left fielder Chris Taylor. Justin Turner bats second, and David Freese back in the starting lineup hitting third. Middle of the order, Manny Machado, Kike Hernandez, and birthday boy Matt Kemp, with Dozier, Barnes, and the pitcher Ryu rounding out the bottom half of the Los Angeles Nine. Joey Lucchesi, his 25th big league start.
You take a look at the toolbox of Joey Lucchesi, the fastball, changeup, curve, and then the curveball. And you know what's weird? A lot of guys, pitchers, throw four-seam fastballs up in the zone. Joey's strictly two-seamer. He goes up out of the zone, and then he'll expand that strike zone with the curve or the curveball for the strikeout.
Can you think of anybody else, and that's the good curve, who works up with the two-seamer?
I can't.
Yeah.
Because I would, if I were a betting man, I'm saying 95% and higher are pitchers that throw up in the zone, throw four-seamers.
It's usually that high spin.
Yeah.
Usually, generally, high velocity. Joey comes at a lot of things differently than most, and it's worked very well for him, obviously. 8 wins here in his rookie campaign. And you heard Andy Green with Bob Scanlon before first pitch. The big thing, I think, this offseason is to get that stamina up, try and push him towards the 200-inning plateau in 2019. That's a very good goal, I think, for any starting pitcher. And that's what they're aiming for with Joey Lucchesi in what should be his second big league season. He might have spiked that one.
Yeah,
now 1-2.
He stopped the clock on that one, took the snap, spiked it right in front of the center. Wow. That wasn't even close to the batter's boxes. Watch this. It's a curve. Pretty good pitch in cricket, but not in baseball.
Yeah, no wickets here.
No.
You ever swung a cricket bat? Taylor lines it foul.
I have not, and it's really unique and kind of cool because it's kind of flat and rounded, and how it's great how the guys can manipulate. And actually, in cricket, a foul ball is a ball in play, right?
Live ball.
Yeah, because the batter's in the middle of the playing field.
Ah, the playing field. The pitch?
The pitch.
Lucchesi, by the way, comes into today with 120 innings pitched on the season. And a strikeout there to get Chris Taylor and open the game. 4 outs in this one so far, all strikeouts.
Well, here's what I was talking about when we talked about Joey Lucchesi in our pregame show, how he expands the zone with 2 strikes. Boy, out of the hand, it looks so good. 82 down out of the zone, and Chris Taylor is a hitter. Okay, you see it, you commit, and then it's really tough to abort that swing when you're halfway through and chalk up another K for Lucchesi. Was that a courtesy laugh? I got courtesy laugh.
Yeah, probably. See, if it were actually funny, I would have actually laughed. Turner 1 for 4 with a 2-run double in the big third inning last night for the Dodgers. Boy, we seem to have said that a lot, you know, going back really over the course of this entire season. The Padres have had some trouble in those snowball innings.
He's a menace, Turner is, and it was that one bad inning that was the difference in that ball game. What do they say, like one bad apple in a barrel can spoil the whole barrel, right? Well, it was that one bad inning that spoiled the whole game.
And Turner was the worm.
That's right. And Padre pitching really trying to pound Turner inside to prevent him from getting extended. You know, if he makes contact on a pitch really inside, chances are he's going to pull it into the seats. But if you get it in on the plate just a little bit, he'll rifle it down that left field corner for a double or even a home run.
Lucchesi's strikeout of Chris Taylor, his 10th against the Dodgers this year. He had 5 in that game in Monterey back in May. He had 4 here back in July. And I think last night, and this isn't, you know, taking a shot at Jacob Nix in any way, shape, or form, but we saw the importance of being able to come through with a strikeout. When you think about that big third inning, Jacob was able to get ahead of guys, unable to put them away, and against a lineup like this in particular, that makes it that much more difficult.
And a lineup against the Dodgers, you better place your fastball as well. You just can't throw it in the general area because it's going to get crushed. And Jacob knows that, as you mentioned.
The backstop there now, 2-2 on Turner. Eric Lauer started the game on Friday night. He struck out 5 in 5 innings. Padres won that game 5-3. Been a fun and eventful weekend here at Dodger Stadium. LA comes into play 1.5 in front of the Rockies in the National League West. Colorado just underway at Chase Field in Phoenix. Now the 2-2. Turner strikes out. Back-to-back Ks to open the game for Joey Lucchesi.
A couple of left-handers blowing these hitters away. There's the high two-seam fastball right up across the Dodgers on the chest of Turner. Working up, working down, working all the way around. I'm keeping track. Got a counter going, courtesy laughs.
That was more sarcastic than courtesy.
There's mound visits and then there's courtesy laughs. I got 2 already.
2 outs and bases empty for David Freese back in the starting lineup, and the former Padre farmhand goes after the first pitch and fouls it back out of play.
How about the Padre defense behind Joey Lucchesi? It's brought to you by your San Diego County Ford dealers. Francisco Mejia, no errors in 64+ innings as a catcher. He's looking out at Myers at third, Galvis at short, Spangenberg at second, Hosmer will be at first, and way out there he's looking at Renfroe in left, Margot in center, and Reyes in right.
Mejia now starting 2 of the 3 games here this weekend. He and Austin Hedges are basically alternating here in the final few weeks of the season as the Padres try and get a good look at both of those guys. Ball and a strike now to Freese.
Here's another reason why I think Joey Lucchesi has really got a bright future, and his numbers, what he's done this rookie season, he's pitched very, very well. But he kind of unorthodox from the windup, right? Did you know that it's like average windup from the full windup is 3 to 4 seconds? Joey Lucchesi is from like 7.5 seconds to 8 seconds. From the first movement, he goes into that high set. So it might be something that kind of messes with the hitters a little bit. You never know.
I mean, if you're not seeing that from anybody else, or hardly anybody else, there's no way it's a comfortable at bat for you, especially that first time.
And the herky-jerky. Place yourself in the batter's box, Jesse. Right, you see the herky-jerky delivery of Joey Lucchesi, and then you see that arm angle. You see up in the zone, down in the zone. It would be tough to square up, I would think.
You see Freese not really coming into that ready position until Joey is just about set to throw the ball, and you know what?
Wow.
Doesn't matter. Strikes out the side. Hyunjin Ryu and Joey Lucchesi with 3 first-inning Ks. San Diego Cadillac dealers or visit Cadillac.com. Scoreless in the top of the second inning. We have yet to see a ball in play. Hyun-Jin Ryu struck out the side in order on 15 pitches, and then Joey Lucchesi did it in the bottom of the first on 14 pitches. Now Eric Hosmer against Ryu to start the second, and he takes strike one. Kind of interesting, too. Ryu struck out Myers, Reyes, and Renfroe. He did not throw a single first pitch strike.
And that's one of my personal opinions on first pitch strikes. Overrated. Depends on the pitcher. Now, if Hyun-Jin Ryu, if he walked 4 in the first inning, obviously it's a difference, but he has the ability to, when pitching behind, off-speed stuff and quality strikes with the fastball. Just because he falls behind 1-0 doesn't mean it's going to be a lost at bat for him, where he's going to get in trouble.
Greg Maddux always said the 1-1 pitch was to him the main one, and the math backs that up. That is where the at bat generally swings. Just missing, and now ball and 2 strikes to Haas.
I think that's a good rule of thumb for any pitcher. The swing pitch, 1-1.
Look at the difference in opposing batting average on a 2-1 count versus a 1-2 count. That's as extreme as it gets. Sounds so easy.
It does, doesn't it? And as you get older, you think that if you could go back and change some things and do things differently, you wish you could get in that time machine and do just that.
What would you do differently?
Probably throw left-handed. I would change my positions on the pitcher's plate.
Little poke job the other way, and Hosmer gets that one through for a base hit. Big aggressive turn around first base, but a nice job by Taylor getting it back in. Hosmer with the first hit of the afternoon, and the Padres have the leadoff man aboard here in the second.
Eric Hosmer waving the magic wand as this little cut fastball off the end of the bat, if taken, probably a ball. And that's all upper body. His body was drifting out towards the left-hander, all arms. He's got his eyes on it, and why not take that aggressive turn? You can always put on the brakes and head back to first base. And Hosmer going sans t-shirt, showing off the chest lettuce on this day game.
You know, on a warm afternoon, I like it.
Yeah.
Mejia takes ball 1 outside from Ryu. Love it. The chain really accentuates the whole look too. You can't do that without a good chain.
Straight Saturday Night Fever right there. Going to the Space Odyssey 2001.
Mejia in the air left field. Taylor, a little bit of a long run, but he'll get there. Contemporary references as always. I've missed those.
Oh, just wait. The 80s are coming up in the middle innings.
And you know what? If we play like 15 or 20 innings, we'll get up to modern times.
Sure. But what we just saw right there, that's what Ryu does so well. Keeps hitters off balance. If you saw Francisco Mejia from the right side way out in front, almost like Hosmer, but Hosmer found the hole. Mejia worked underneath it for the easy fly ball.
Galvis was the leadoff man yesterday, went 0 for 4 as he had his hitting streak come to a close at 6 games. He'd also homered in 2 straight. And a curveball for a strike, 0-1. Freddie, by the way, all of a sudden tied for the team RBI lead with Hunter Renfroe. He is, of course, a switch hitter. He has started every single game this year. The only guy in baseball who can say that. He played in all 162 a season ago with the Phillies. And I think it's very clear at this point that it is a big goal for him to repeat that accomplishment here in 2018.
I heard that Andy Green's going to give him the last day of the season off. I'm kidding.
You know what? Put your feet up.
No, but you know what, though? You'd love to have guys like that. I think that filters down. I think it filters down to the not only the veteran players, but the young players. I mean, you're a big leaguer. And Freddie Galvis's mindset is, you know what? The days off on the calendar are my days off. He wants to play each and every game. And it looks like he's going to do that this season. And you have to admire that. See how out in front he is? I mean, a lot of hitters this inning, right? Out in front. Really keeping him off balance. You see a lot of defensive swings. Watch out. Okay, now the hands are back to foot, but the ball's not there yet. Oh, come on, get there, get there, get there. And he catches it way out in front for the foul ball. See if he tries to pump a fastball in right here.
Looks like it. And Galvis pops it up. Austin Barnes coming back. And 2 away. A little dicey with that on deck circle there. Different surface. Seen guys slip on those before.
Got rid of the mask, great concentration. That ball kind of tailing back towards and just in the webbing, and very important that he gets that throwing hand on the webbing to cradle it and secure it for the big out.
That was a great look at it there. Not quite what Austin Hedges did yesterday, but a fine play by Austin Barnes. And now 2 outs. Hosmer still at first base. He began the inning with a single to the opposite field. Now number 7 hitter, Manuel Margot. And Ryu really peppering that outside corner against these right-handed hitters.
It's almost as if Ryu has got you looking one zone, and then all of a sudden, bang, he'll pop it in the other zone, or he'll go off speed way out in front.
Check on Hosmer.
Not a good move, by the way, from Ryu. Does not have a good move.
Hosmer not going anywhere and just missing 1-1. Hosmer has stolen 7 bags in his first season as a Padre, been caught 4 times. Now 1-2. I got a good Margot stat for you.
Bring it on.
Padres so far this year, he has played in 7 games here at Dodger Stadium, not counting today, and he's got at least 1 hit in all 7.
Nice. That's a good little nugget.
Just got a piece of the curve, and still a ball and 2 strikes on the Padres center fielder.
Now, once again, and during this at bat, has Ryu thrown Manuel Margot a heater? Is he softening him up with 3 pitches? Now that foul ball back to the screen to where he can maybe pump one inside? Or does he say soft away? Fastball up and in, just like he did to Freddie.
Galvis popped it up, and Margot fouls it away. And into the seats, he stays alive. Ball and 2 strikes.
Now here's what I'm thinking. I love the thinking game.
Okay.
As a hitter, okay, you got the fastball, right? Okay, Manuel's probably thinking he's going to go soft away, and this is where I love the pitcher to double up in with the fastball. Let's see if he doubles up with the fastball in. Because he was late on it. Oh, Campio. Fastball away. Curveball. Backdoor slider.
Just missing. No. Got the call. And strikeout number 4 for Hyun-Jin Ryu. Lead single with a man left. Casey, who struck out the side in the bottom of the first, and our Kia Drive to Success takes a look at Manny Machado and the most home runs in Dodger history as a team. That record set last night. Machado went deep, one of 3 home runs that LA struck in the win over the Padres, breaking last year's record of 221. They got a week's worth of games to add on here in 2018. And certainly no surprise that the Dodgers and other teams are setting franchise home run records these last couple of years. Padres have done so as well. This one is just an absolute missile shot out to left, and you can add to the total. Machado, who homered twice against the Padres here last month, has done it again in this series, and the Dodgers have a 1-0 lead.
It was Jack Peterson who struck last night in the first inning for the Dodgers with the solo shot. Manny Machado leads off the second. And, you know, I'm not even going to go into launch angle here because this was a rocket. This was a missile. It's a churve out of the hand, speeding up the bat of Machado. Looking on contact right down the middle, belt buckle high. Not going to get away with many mistakes to Manny Machado there. Bat through the barrel of the zone for a long time, and the Dodgers are on the board.
If you combine his numbers with Baltimore and the Dodgers, he is now over 100 runs batted in on the season. 13th homer as a Dodger, 35th overall. Now Kike Hernandez getting the start in center field. He hit a home run against Joey Lucchesi back in the rain in May. Went back-to-back with Chris Taylor. Second start of the series. Taylor homered in his first on Friday night. This is a chopper right at the second baseman, Corey Spangenberg, well positioned as usual, and one out here in the second.
Here's what I want to look for, how Joey reacts after the home run. Secondly, Jesse, remember we talked about Joey in our pregame show and how the home runs, keeping the ball in the ballpark, is important because of the Dodgers. That's only the 19th home run given up by Joey this year, his 25th start, and quite frankly, that's pretty darn good.
Matt Kemp celebrating his 34th birthday today. Big time bounce back season. Hit his 20th home run Wednesday night against the Rockies. He now has 202 home runs in a Dodger uniform. Steve Garvey next on their all-time list with 211. Ron Cey 228, and the franchise leader Eric Karros, who's got 270 home runs in a Dodger uniform.
San Diego's own Eric Karros. Patrick Henry High School.
San Carlos.
Yep.
Great hair.
Tremendous salad.
Seen Eric a couple of times at Petco this year. Kemp fouls it out of play, now 0-2.
Perfect situation for Joey to not throw Kemp a strike. Up and out of the zone. If you're going to get it up there. Nothing he can square up, get on top of. Or he will lunge at a breaking ball with the best of them. Looks like a high heater coming.
Mejia sets that target. And still 0-2. You'd like an unofficial trivia question here?
Sure.
Matt Kemp's got a bunch of hit against the Padres in his career, as we know, 150 something, I think, at this point. Who has more hits against the Padres than anyone else in history?
Is he active?
No.
Todd Helton.
No. Who has more hits than anybody else in Major League history? Same guy, Pete Rose.
Pete Rose. Was my next one.
I'm sure it was, yeah. Not a lot came against Randy Jones, though.
You know what? That's back in the day also when Cincinnati was in the same division. So that they played each other a lot. Yeah. All right.
Now you're all warmed up.
Yeah.
You're ready to go.
Literally.
Bit toasty today. And Kemp hits it high and deep. That's going to be a birthday bash. And the Dodgers have their second home run of the inning. 2-0 Los Angeles. 21st of the season for Matt Kemp. His 203rd in a Dodger uniform.
Well, the shame about this at bat is that he had him with 2 strikes, and that one is high as well. Remember the pitch to Machado, belt buckle high down the heart of the plate, and that one is the exact same spot for Matt Kemp. That one just kind of floated up there. Not much break. Little cement mixer.
Now the second baseman, Brian Dozier, getting his second start of the series. 416 feet for Matt Kemp. Dodgers have hit a ton of home runs, but interestingly enough, with all of the firepower in their lineup, many have come without anybody on base. They have more solo home runs than any other team in baseball this year, and they're totally middle of the pack when it comes to homers with runners on base.
That is a nice little nugget there that you would probably win a bet.
Doesn't get that call now. The count swings to 2-1 on Dozier.
And we hear it all the time in baseball as a pitcher. If you're going to give up home runs, oh, give up the solo shot.
Dozier slumping. He is only 4 for his last 47 as a Dodger this year, a 187 average. 2-2.
Speaking of home runs and Dodger home runs, I was here the year where they hit back to back to back to back home runs. And then Nomar walked it off with a home run. That was one of the most unbelievable games I've witnessed, I think, in my career.
Two to Dozier is outside, and now a full count as Lucchesi tries to right the ship a little bit here. Machado and Kemp have gone deep. We talked about it a lot in the first 2 games of this series. It just doesn't seem like there's a soft spot in this batting order, but if there was one here today, you've got a slumping Dozier. Barnes is on deck. He's not the hitter this year that Grandal is. Then the pitcher, of course. It's time to go after guys, I think, if you're Joey Lucchesi, and he does. But he just gets a piece, I believe, and stays alive. 3-2.
Yeah, those are the guys you want to put away quickly. Not a lot of pitches, no deep counts. And you look at the scoreboard right now, 3-2 to Dozier. You know, Jesse, you and I were talking before the game, so I added up the home runs in last night's game for the Dodgers lineup. 189 home runs in their lineup last night.
Look how many they got on their bench today.
Oh, I know.
You have Bellinger on the bench. You got Puig on the bench. You go on and on and on. Payoff pitch, and that one gets away, and he's going to reach on the strikeout. I've seen that a couple of times this year. 4th strikeout of the afternoon for Lucchesi, but a man aboard with only 1 out.
We saw Joey spike one earlier, worse than this one, and this one's just on the side of home plate. Mejia tries to backhand rather than trying to position his body, slide and keep those shoulders square towards the infield, trying to pick it like a first baseman on the outfield side of the bag. That's not going to work.
Top of the zone, but he doesn't get the call, and now Lucchesi falls behind the number 8 hitter. 1-0 to Austin Barnes. Dodger catcher making his first start of this series. Back in July, we saw Miguel Diaz have a 4 strikeout inning. Only the 2nd time it had ever happened in Padre history. The other, Luke Gregerson in 2009.
He must have spiked a slider in the dirt. You can see that one. He was slider. He was all sliders. Joey's got to be working up the ladder today as well. I mean, he'll sweat when it's 45 degrees out there.
You know a little something about that.
Yeah, Andy Ashby, same way. Oh my gosh. He led the league in sweat. Just wait, that bill of his cap is going to be saturated with perspiration.
He's got the good move. Teams have certainly adjusted to it. Picked off, I think, 3 guys in his first couple starts. And now you do not see a lot of action over at first base with Lucchesi on the mound. 2-2. Check in with Bob Scanlon down in that Padre dugout.
You know, guys, one other thing to keep in mind, this is the first time that Joey Lucchesi and Francisco Mejia have worked together. Mejia has had a chance to work with every other starting pitcher, and it was Andy's goal when Mejia got here to make sure that he did have a chance to catch at least one time every starter in this rotation. Joey Lucchesi is the last one, so another little bit of a learning curve that we've talked about over the last couple of weeks, with Mejia learning what Lucchesi wants to throw in certain situations and how some of his pitches are going to break. We'll see how it goes today.
That's a great point, and this isn't a standard guy to catch, I would imagine.
A little bit challenging with that curve. It's not the normal pitch, right? And we've seen Joey sometimes work in different zones. I like Mark Grant's point also, Mud. You're talking about the 2-seam fastball up in the zone. You know, that's going to move a little differently than some guys' 4-seamers. So every pitcher has their subtle nuances, and as we see Mejia go out to talk with Joey right now, there's a lot to learn, and I think this is a great example right here of 2 young guys trying to get on the same page in a situation where they're trying to learn each other and what they want to go after. I think this is a smart move on Mejia's part and a mature move to go out there and have a chat instead of just sit back there and continue to flash numbers and see your pitcher shake his head. Yeah, gets kind of frustrating, doesn't it, Mud?
Absolutely, and that is a good thing to have those guys learning out there and taking care of it themselves. You know, no visit from the pitching coach, right? So it's all on them to try to figure it out. And the 2-seam fastball, you're right. The 4-seamer is going to stay straight and true. A little bit of movement on that high 2-seamer. So that will be an adjustment for Mejia possibly.
21 pitch inning so far for Joey Lucchesi. Still just the 1 out. And a pretty decent battle here with the number 8 hitter Austin Barnes. Darren Balsley watching intently as always, the Padre pitching coach. A check on Dozier.
Yeah, stolen base really not the story for the Dodgers this year. They're ranked 9th in the National League. It's all about the home run. We've seen some very short leads over there at first base for the Dodgers this series.
Dave Roberts has sent his guys a little bit more frequently as of late. Dozier not going, and that pitch is perfect on the inside corner. Strike 3 called. Now 5 for Joey Lucchesi and a big second out with Ryu coming up.
After seeing some soft stuff, there's a 2-seamer at 92 right at the belt buckle. A legit strike, perfectly placed. Big out for Joey.
Nice job by Mejia receiving it. Catcher's mitt barely moved, gave Jim Reynolds a nice long look at it. Ryu's got 4 hits on this season and almost that exact same pitch for a strike. 0-1 on the Dodger pitcher. Ryu, a career 172 hitter. You can't take him for granted out there. And a good churr for a strike. Lucchesi in front of him, no balls, and now 2 strikes.
Yeah, I think it's very important this at bat. Do not throw him a breaking ball for a strike right down the middle. He can do some damage. You speed up his bat, you never know. Might rifle one down the left field line. Still have to be careful here.
On 0-2, a hard hit, base hit, left field. 2-strike, 2-out hit by the opposing pitcher. And now the Dodgers have runners on first and second with Chris Taylor coming up.
I think he spun on a fastball right there. High fastball, and Ryu got on top of it. That ball is up, it's in. And he gets to it. Hit that ball sharply to the left side.
Now 5 hits in 22 at bats this season for Ryu. Tick under 200. And the work continues for Lucchese here in the second inning. We've talked about big innings and the troubles that the Padres have had with those. Last night, a 5-run third for LA. Only 2 runs so far here in the second, but obviously things can change very, very quickly with a dangerous hitter at the plate. Taylor, the 7th man to bat for the Dodgers here in the inning. 1-1. Hot September for Chris Taylor, who has struck out more than anybody else in the National League this year. Casey got him for his 170th of the season, opening up the bottom of the first inning.
Kind of out of sync right now with that runner on second base, Mejia and Lucchese. Hopefully no cross-ups right here.
Well, we've seen that all weekend as well. Chirv is high, 2-1. Teams in 2018, I feel like we've reached that tipping point where they're just so cautious with a runner at second, particularly against certain teams and with certain guys either on second or at the plate.
Some way, shape, or form, you think that they're relaying some type of, whether it's pitch, whether it's location.
There's no doubt. Game within the game. Now 2-2 as that one is fouled away. He shot the other night. Bellinger was on second base. It was like he was studying for the SATs the way he was looking in.
Right.
At Francisco Mejia. Another veteran guy out there right now, Brian Dozier.
I mean, so many ways to give away location. That's why catchers set up late, right? Until the pitcher, even when they go into that leg kick, then they'll hop. And it depends on the pitcher. That might upset some pitchers that are young. They want to have a setup target up there for a while, not a guy on the move.
They'll be on the move now with a full count. Dozier from second and Ryu from first.
As a hitter, though, you got to be careful. If you're getting location sign from the runner, and you got a guy out there who really can't pinpoint, you might be diving away, and you might get one right in the ear, and that can be dangerous because the guy doesn't have the control.
Dozier did not look particularly interested. And the payoff pitch to Taylor is taken high, ball 4. Bases are loaded. And now Justin Turner will become the 8th man to bat here in the inning. Second mound visit of the inning, this time from Darren Balsley.
Darren says in a situation like this, he tries not to throw too many things mechanical. It's pretty much just with this inning and a lot of traffic, a chance to take a little bit of a rest. And Darren will also say for the pitchers, you know, get out front, get extended, spin that baseball. And hey, how do you feel about throwing this guy first pitch fastball? How about a first pitch curveball? Make sure you and your catcher and the infielders are on the same page.
About as long of a conversation as you'll ever see Darren Balsley have with a pitcher.
Sometimes pitchers, when they're in a little bit of a jam like that, pitching coach might tell them, hey, you're just rushing a little bit, let's slow it down. Just that one little sentence, that might be the difference. And then, hey, start off this guy with a good hard slider, if you throw a slider. Let's see how he pitches him right here first pitch, because believe me, Turner's looking for the heater.
32nd pitch of the inning coming from Lucchese. Bases loaded, 2 outs, and Turner into shallow center. Margot fighting the sun, makes the catch, and the inning is over. Lucchese survives it, only 2 for the Dodgers.
Priceless surprises courtesy of MasterCard.
Manfred staying on the outside corner. He gets Will Myers looking at a backdoor cutter. Backdoor cutter to Franmil Reyes. He's also doing the fastball on the outside corner, but it's been a lot of cutters. In fact, he gets Manny Margot looking at that backdoor cutter. 7 taken strikes so far by the Padres in this ball game. Hyun-Jin Ryu living on that outside corner, but that's not necessarily a bad thing to start the ball game. Why? Because coming into this game against Ryu, you know one thing, he's not going to try to go to the middle. He's going to try to get you to chase on that corner and away. Those are pitcher's pitches. There's no reason for the Padres to be chasing those early in the ball game. All you're doing is encouraging him to continue to throw more of them. With 2 strikes, obviously, you've got to open up a little bit, but with less than 2 strikes, Matt Stairs would love to see the Padres stay patient, not go after that pitcher's pitch on the black on the outside corner where Ryu is trying to live. We'll see if they can stay patient and force him to the middle of the plate, guys.
Yeah, thanks, Bob. He's on the corner, all right. Corner of Hollywood and Vine. We saw a lot of those replays right there. He's getting a baseball, maybe a baseball and half call, but like Bob said, hey, if the umpire's going to call it, you live out there. He has the control to do just that, so why not continue to go out there?
Nice job, too, by the catcher, Austin Barnes. Recognized as certainly one of the better pitch framers in baseball the last couple of years. I read a really interesting story the other day. I think it was Ben Lindbergh, and I apologize if it wasn't. He wrote about how the gap has shrunk so much in the last couple of seasons between the elite pitch framers and the guys who aren't very good at it. You know, it used to be a huge difference between the top pitch framers and the worst, and now everybody has emphasized it so much that really there's not that big of a difference anymore between, you know, the average catcher and the great catcher when it comes to pitch framing.
And the better your control as a pitcher, that just works right in your wheelhouse, man. If you can pinpoint your fastballs and your breaking stuff, you're going to have a good day in the big leagues.
Spangenberg strikes out. That's 5 for Ryu. 1 away here in the 3rd.
Mud, question for you with regards to catchers. I mean, obviously there's different ways to evaluate guys. There's some framers that actually save you strikes. There's other guys that cost you strikes by taking it out of the zone. And for me, I always love to have a catcher that could really stick that outside corner where his glove didn't move very much.
Right.
And I think that's been the big difference. How about for you? Anything that you really like to see your catchers do other than make that fastball sing a little bit with some loud pop?
Not only that, but I concur what you just said regarding the catcher who can stick it there. And you, being a sinker baller, there's a lot of guys out there. If you got a good sinker ball pitcher out there, they'll bring some strikes out of the zone. And I like the guy who could stick it there almost like a rock. Just stick it there like a stone. He make you look so good and not bring that pitch out of the zone.
Yeah, I agree. That was the guy that helped me more as opposed to the guy that was trying to get fancy with you know, squeezing the ball in the outside corner, trying to bring the outside pitch off onto the plate. I mean, that's nice, but for me, if the guy couldn't stick it down on the corner or down in the bottom of the zone, that's what ended up costing me strikes.
Such an interesting topic. Talked to Austin Hedges about it at length earlier this year, and he said it's that low one. That's kind of the bread and butter for him. And I think for most guys who are really good at it, that's where you can get the most. Reached for and grounded to Machado at shortstop. Joey Lucchesi is out number 2. Time now for the AARP take on Will Myers versus Hyun-Jin Ryu, and 4 hits and 10 at-bats now against Ryu. Struck out back in the 1st inning, but Myers with a couple of extra base hits against Ryu here last month, a double and a triple. He is also homered against the Dodger left-hander.
Ryu likes to pitch away to right-handers at times. He'll pump the fastball in well, but when Will Myers is swinging the bat well, what does he do well? He goes the opposite way, right? If you can get something up and away, drive it that way.
Good curve for strike 1.
And how do you counter that? You flip up a breaking ball for a strike.
Will having a nice series, but in the hole against Ryu. No balls, 2 strikes. Myers 2 for 4 on Friday night and 2 for 4 again yesterday.
So curveball, fastball, changeup. This sequence going on right here. Soft early, fastball in for a ball, and Will swung at it. And then he went changeup right there. Now he's got Will guessing. It's got to be tough. You got to be short and quick to this next pitch, if a strike.
See if he goes back to the curveball. He does, and it is in the dirt. 2-2.
Smell a fastball in. I'm guessing fastball in.
I'll go fastball away.
Fastball up and in, exactly, as far as being a little bit more. Slider, change up.
Change up. Hard hit. And caught. Taylor comes in. Pretty good contact from Will Myers. Put a 1-2-3 top of the third for Ryu.
Third inning, Rich Hill is bunting, right? Austin Hedges. How quick is he? And great concentration. This ball is not up in the air a long time in the bunt attempt. Eric Hosmer's going over. Look at the flash look. Now he recognizes also, and this is great in slow motion, as he reaches into the dugout and uses that railing as a little padding and a little support for the big play and the big out for the Padres.
The flip out of the catcher's mitt into the bare hand is my favorite part.
That's nice.
He's like, I got this.
He makes it look easy, doesn't he?
He really does. It's incredible to watch him do everything that he does back behind the dish, and that includes making highlight reel catches. Not a lot of opportunities for catchers to do that, but he's got a handful already in his first few years here in the major leagues. Lucchesi had a long second inning. He gave up the 2 homers through 32 pitches, and he'll try and get back on track here in the third with David Freese leading off. Machado and Kike Hernandez to follow. This is 3, 4, and 5 in the Dodger batting order. Blew it past him, and now 1-2.
When's the last time you put on catcher's gear?
2004.
It's tough to run full speed in that stuff.
That's a very good point.
Isn't it?
Yes.
I've been to fantasy camps before where I've gotten behind the dish and caught. And that's hard. I mean, walking in that stuff. And then you have to sprint and try to catch it over by your dugout. I had some catcher's gear on last night in my room. I was blocking balls. Yeah, I was working on.
Working.
Yeah, working on. Yeah.
Who was throwing them to you?
It was off the wall.
Oh, off the wall.
Yeah.
Just bouncing them to yourself.
Yeah, my neighbor didn't like it, but got to get better at my game.
Is it borrowed equipment or you travel with it?
I travel with it.
Strikes him out, and now 6 strikeouts for Joey Lucchesi. 1 away in the third. Oh, God. Quite the image.
He was way out in front of it, and it's the curve. Right over the top of it, and not a good swing from David Freese. Joey needs a quick bounce back inning right here. 1, 2, 3 would be nice.
That's what I said. Here's Machado. 10 in his last 10, including a home run in his last at bat and a big home run in the big inning last night for the Dodgers. Casey trying to paint that outside corner the way Ryu was earlier in the game. Just missing. Or not. Looking to go back out there. And in the air, foul down the right field line. Machado homered last time, and this time in the air right field. Reyes, long run, and he gets there. Franmil covering some serious ground in right field. 2 away here in the third.
That is a big kid in motion out there in right. As you said, Jesse, that's a long run. That ball's going to be slicing off the bat, so he's got to be really on his game. A dead sprint from the get-go. Battling the sun and hauling in for out number 2.
So Lucchesi now has only Kike Hernandez to deal with if he does want that bounce back 1-2-3 inning. Hernandez is hot, grounded out his first time this afternoon. Homered out of the leadoff position on Friday night. Obviously, for the Dodgers, that is a very large series. Rockies in Phoenix, looking to win another game against the Diamondbacks. LA coming into play today, 1.5 in front of Colorado. Mike Pomerantz, Mark Sweeney have those highlights for you coming shortly.
Boy, the D-backs, man, slip sliding away, huh?
Happened fast.
Wow.
Dave Roberts' club swept the Rockies here. Colorado, though, has bounced back nicely. And so far through 2 games this weekend have picked up a game on the Dodgers, thanks, of course, in part to the Padres.
Hey, you know what? With the way things have been going this season, last month, I'm not calling anything. It's like election night. It's too close. Even though going into today, the Rockies, as you mentioned, a 1.5, I'm not calling anything. What do you think, Jesse?
I agree with you. I think weirder things have happened. Dodgers are obviously in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
Teams do not go head-to-head again.
Right.
LA will travel to Phoenix after this game to take on the Diamondbacks. They end the year in San Francisco as Lucchesi bounces another one. Hey, anything to keep him off guard. Dodgers playing tomorrow night at Chase Field, and again Tuesday and Wednesday for those last 3 games against the Giants. Padres will go to San Francisco tomorrow, and as you said, the Diamondbacks have won only 5 of their last 20 games. Not ideal in the month of September. Kike right up the elevator chute, and Hosmer makes the catch. It is a bounce back 1-2-3 third for Joey Lucchesi. Thank you for keeping us updated, guys. And certainly the Dodgers, I'm sure, have at least one eye on that out-of-town scoreboard down in the third base dugout this afternoon. Best case scenario for LA, they will head into the final week of the season, 2.5 games up. Franmil Reyes out in front of this one, and Justin Turner gives chase. Just enough room. He reaches in and makes the catch. Boy, talk about calm, cool, and collected. One away here in the fourth.
That's something that a pitcher really appreciates. Takes the bat right out of the hand of Franmil Reyes. The flash look, great concentration, feels the wall, and a nice grab. Battling the sun, but he's got the sunglasses on. Big out.
Fans really gave him some space, too.
Yep.
Now Renfroe topping one foul.
That's a great point, right? If you're a Dodger fan and you're at Dodger Stadium and your guy is trying to make a play, I think that's good reaction on their part to let their fielder try to reach in the stand, because it's a fair game, right? For the fans, and when it's over the railing like that.
Sure.
Either that or they're scared of the baseball.
Not quite as big of a crowd as we saw the last couple of nights, but plenty of people packed into Dodger Stadium. Renfroe serves that one out into center field. Kike Hernandez in the sun, making the catch. It is time now for our Valley View Casino trivia question.
I love trivia.
Hunter Renfroe has hit 25 or more home runs in back-to-back seasons. Name the 2 Padre players who hold the team record with 4 straight seasons of at least 25 home runs. That's a good question. So 2 people have hit this number of home runs 4 years in a row. Name them.
I'm going to refrain right now from that. I'm going to let the fans think about it. But Hunter Renfroe has been fun to watch last half of the season.
Hosmer, well struck right field. Long run, Kemp again fighting the sun, and just in front of the wall, he makes the catch. Don't often see Hosmer pull it in the air to deep right. He did. Not deep enough. At Kemp, first time up. That's a birthday bash. His 21st home run of the season, 417 feet out into the left field pavilion here at Dodger Stadium.
Too fat of a pitch. It was belt buckle high, catching way too much of the plate, and Joey Lucchesi will find out that he cannot get away with that pitch against a team that broke a franchise record last night.
24 hits in 60 at-bats against the Padres this season, including now 5 home runs for Matt Kemp.
Comeback player of the year, right? You think?
Certainly was at the All-Star break, but yeah, I think even with the slower second half, he's the name that pops into mind. I like that award. That's one of my favorite awards.
I remember Mark Davis, teammate of mine, left-handed pitcher, Cy Young Award winner 1989. He said, I don't know why I don't get that award every year. I come back every year. And if you knew Mark Davis, his nickname was Goofy, you'd understand why they called him Goofy.
It's a good line. Kemp, another hard hit ball. And Renfroe's not going to get there. Matt's on his way to second base. He'll get there standing with a double.
When we talk about hitting mistakes, the home run was a mistake back in the second inning. See what Joey Lucchesi throws here. It's a two-seam fastball, and it's middle in, and he gets a good start to it. Hitters will look for that heater. They'll cheat a little bit, catches it way out in front. Nice, easy swing. That's one thing Matt Kemp does so well. I think he doesn't overswing. He's got a nice, easy swing. Gets that barrel and gets his body in a good position and good results.
25th hit of the season against the Padres. Now Brian Dozier, who reached on the strikeout wild pitch back in the second inning, so he's 0 for 1. Lucchesi with 6 strikeouts in 3 innings. Dozier taking the first one. That's no surprise. He swings at the first pitch about as rarely as anybody in baseball the last couple of years.
First guy that comes to mind when you say that? You want to take a guess? The guy that I played against. Mets, Cardinals.
Keith Hernandez?
Todd Zeile.
Ah. A former Dodger as well.
Played for a lot of teams.
Yeah. Nice career.
Very good career. Yeah, you're right. But it was something ridiculous, like, I don't know, in the 80s, 80%, maybe more, of taking the first pitch.
He wasn't after your time?
He was a little, yeah, he came in towards the end of mine, and yeah.
Dozier tips it foul at the plate. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dodgers sent Logan Forsythe and others to Minnesota to pick him up. Kemp with the lead double is 2 for 2 on the afternoon. Both Dodger runs came on solo homers back in the second inning. Now the 2-2, and up high, 3 balls and 2 strikes the count to Brian Dozier.
Joey does not have those crosshairs set this afternoon on that high fastball where he'll get a lot of swings and misses. These hitters are good enough to recognize that when it's well out of the zone and lay off of it.
Payoff pitch coming to Dozier, and a little roller. Lucchesi will check on Matt Kemp, and I guess that's a foul ball. Must have caught Dozier in the box. Count remains full, 3-2. Mentioned the Dodgers, game and a half up on the Colorado Rockies. In terms of home field advantage in a potential postseason matchup with the Atlanta Braves, who have clinched the East, the Dodgers are now 1.5 behind the Braves after Atlanta beat the Phillies today. Plenty of questions yet to be answered in the final week of the season for Dave Roberts. Another 3-2, and this time a ground ball that Galvis is able to get to. And in time, what a play by Freddie Galvis. Kemp advances to third base. So I guess a productive out for Brian Dozier, but a run-saving play by the Padres shortstop.
No doubt that saves a run, and Freddie quickly gets to his knee, and he's got the good arm and the accurate arm to get Dozier. Now Dozier's not going to break any records from home to first. He's hustling. He knows that he's got to get there, and gets him by about, what, an eighth of a step? Oh yeah, I said it, eighth of a step, by that much. Great range, great release, and showing off that cannon.
I got half a step.
Half a step?
Yeah. Infield in with the number 8 hitter Austin Barnes at the plate. Kemp on third base. And strike one. Barnes struck out looking in his only other at bat this afternoon. And only 5 for 51 with runners in scoring position on the season.
Well, if anybody's got to be in this game right here, it's Mejia, because Joey has spiked a couple of those chirps. Now that poses the other question: will he have the confidence to call that pitch here, or will he try to spot the fastball?
Good looking curve there.
Yep.
And a ball and 2 strikes now. The count to Austin Barnes.
He's tapping his glove on the ground. See Francisco, and he's given the change signal.
Hard hit, deep left field. This one is gonna go. Another home run. This time a 2-run shot by Austin Barnes. Only his 3rd of the season. And for the 2nd consecutive game, the Dodgers have left the building 3 times. 4-0 LA.
It's the breaking ball, the chirp that Joey did not get down enough. Is he afraid of bouncing this one? Francisco Mejia wanted it down, and as soon as that one was hit, Joey slaps the ground. Austin Barnes gets extended, speeds up his bat. Ouch. In a situation like that, Jesse, a pitcher's got to trust his catcher. Hey, if it gets by him, it gets by him, right? He did not bury that one where he wanted it.
Ryu has already singled once, and he misses with the fastball. 1-1 to the Dodger pitcher. That single did not lead to any runs, but it did really elongate that 2nd inning, in which Lucchesi threw 32 pitches. Ended up leaving the bases loaded. But he's had to work really hard here this afternoon in his first career start at Dodger Stadium. Ryu sends that one up the middle, and another base hit for the Dodger pitcher. He's 2 for 2.
Left fielder, Chris.
Well, the
Taylor.
swing's not pretty, but the result is for the Dodger pitcher. Spanks went to the left side his first at bat, playing the game of pepper right there. Boy, how ugly is that swing? But you know what, though? There's a lot of guys that will take that swing. If you get a base hit, you'll swing that way each and every time. He's a good athlete, 2 times aboard.
Ryu is now 4 for his last 4 against the Padres. Had 2 hits in the game here last month in 2 at bats, and same thing this afternoon.
Joey really struggling with that fastball location. It's evident that last pitch there to fall behind.
Nobody up in the Padre bullpen. This whole weekend, in part, has been about learning for these young rookie pitchers. Big spot late in the year, big crowds. And also just about fighting through when you don't have your best stuff, your best command. Lauer passed the test on Friday night. Nix gave it a shot yesterday, and now Joey Lucchesi's turn here this afternoon.
I'm a big fan of that. I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Made note of that on the night Eric Lauer did start. when Andy went out there and walked back. I was like, yes, I like it.
Not coddling guys, that's for sure. Go out there, put the experience in the memory bank, and hope that the lessons learned, even if they're tough ones, will pay off in the future.
You want to pitch in the big leagues, learn how to get out of those jams, right?
That's it. Taylor takes just high. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And I tell you what, for a rookie pitcher who pitches successfully in AA, AAA, whatever the case may be, you come up to the big leagues, it's a wake-up call how good these guys are. I mean, you miss with a fastball and it's going to get waffled. Not every time, but chances are it's going to get turned around.
Especially against a lineup like this.
Yes.
Home runs today by Manny Machado, Matt Kemp, and Austin Barnes. Don't generally see names like that in the Texas League.
No.
Taylor takes inside, ball 4. Going to answer our trivia question, Valley View Casino trivia question. Mentioned Hunter Renfroe. Now back-to-back 25 home run seasons. Who are the 2 Padres to have 4 straight 25 home run seasons?
Adrian's one of them.
And Ken Caminetti.
Nice. First thing I think about Adrian Gonzalez, obviously that glove of his over first base, and opposite field pop. Nice easy swing too. So smooth. Easy to the baseball, and the ball just jumping off his shillelagh.
You see it sailing out to left center.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 on and only 1 out for Justin Turner. Joey struck him out in the first inning. He flew to center in the second. And here we go again with a man on second base, and Casey Mejia just going to talk about it.
You and I had a discussion over breakfast this morning, and I like your idea. With technology these days, I think pitchers should have a little thing in their ear with the catcher so they can just kind of whisper and say that, hey, what do you think here?
I think it would certainly speed up the game. You know, there's so much attention paid now with guys at second base, and you're worried about sign stealing, location stealing, that kind of thing. And you're never going to totally eliminate it, but you're right. I mean, a little walkie-talkie, they do it in the NFL. Some kind of situation or system, electronic system, anything.
Anything. I mean, you could even attach it to your hat, maybe just a little microchip thing.
It could be like Morse code: 1 buzz for fastball, 2 for curve. Turner into left center, high, deep, but should be playable, and fighting the sun. Margot able to make the catch. Turner gave it a ride, but that's the middle out here in the 4th inning. Both runners retreat. Taylor to first, Ryu to second, and David Freese now. The only thing standing between Joey Lucchesi and getting out of this 4th inning with limited damage.
High fly ball, and Will Margot dealing with El Sol. Playing over towards right center field. He's got a ways to go, using the glove to shade it and making the catch.
That was a good conversation we had over breakfast.
Yeah.
And that was a pretty good looking breakfast you had.
I crushed it.
You would have made Rosillo proud.
Oh, man.
You got 5 waffles.
Carb overload.
Yeah.
I had 4 waffles.
4 waffles.
3 slices of bacon. Bad bacon here, though, too thin. Bowl of fruit to play for the tie.
You had some eggs too, didn't you?
Had some, yeah.
Yeah.
Had some eggs. Had some oatmeal.
Oh, you gotta have oatmeal. Took a while to mow through the feed bag. Freeze up the middle. That'll get through for a base hit. Ryu is going to be waved. Renfroe comes up firing, and it's cut off. 5-0 Dodgers. Boy, you're talking about C&I right up the middle. RBI single for David Freese.
Well, another crooked number. 2 in the second, 3 here in this inning, and the Dodgers are adding on big time, just out of the reach of Joey. This will give us another good look. They could not get the glove up there, or would wave their position. Freddie Galvis on the pull side. Number 99 rolls around third, and he scores.
And he'll get some extra time to catch his breath now because Joey Lucchesi will depart here with 2 outs in the 4th inning. Trey Wingender coming on in relief with the Padres down 5. He departs with runners on the corners and 2 away. Manny Machado coming up, and our top tier play is brought to you by Arco. This was a scoreless game. 2nd inning, he led off against Lucchesi, and he hit a home run for the 2nd consecutive game. Machado 1 for 2 against Lucchesi, and a new pitcher for the Padres. Early to the bullpen again is Trey Wingender.
Yeah, not a good thing for San Diego going to the bullpen this early. Last time out for Trey was back on Wednesday against the San Francisco Giants. Through an inning, he struck out 1 hitter, his 19th game for the big, tall right-hander. Upper 90s, and really good splits. As you take a look at the bottom there, 192 against lefties, 172 against righties. Try to stop the bleeding here. With 2 outs, he inherits 2 runners, and they are at the corners.
As you said, nice job on Wednesday in that win over the Giants. He faced Panic, Pence, and Longoria 1-2-3 in the San Francisco order and set him right on down. Dangerous guy at the plate right here and right now. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, and Machado backs away from a good slider, 0-1. Padre bullpen has just a completely different look than it did at the beginning of the season, but it was good then and really good now. Most strikeouts of any bullpen in the National League this year. Padres starters, though, have the fewest number of strikeouts in the National League this season.
You know, Jesse, it's funny you say that. Early in the, I always like to go back in my scorebook and look at opening day and then the bullpen. I'll get it soon here.
It's the first game while you're looking.
Thursday, right? Milwaukee?
Yes. Swing and a miss. Another good slider now. 1-2 on Machado. Give me the names.
Erlin, McGrath, Hand on the left side. Yates, Stammen, Makita, Simber, Lyles from the right side.
Trey Wingender, I think, was in Double-A at San Antonio when this season began.
A nice climb this year and throwing the ball well at the big leagues.
Now he's in front of Manny Machado. The 1-2, just a little bit off the plate at 98 miles an hour. Only the Yankees and Rays in the American League. I mean, that's a big jump between the Padres and the Brewers.
Oh, it's huge.
Yeah.
Great arms down there.
Other way and through. That'll be a base hit. That'll be another run. 6-0 Dodgers. And Manny Machado's had himself a nice little series.
When you mentioned Manny Machado, and we showed you those numbers the last 4 seasons, this year driving in now more than 100 runs, you always think, okay, pull side with some pop. How about Manny Machado going the opposite way here? You know, even though he's late on a fastball, still not overswinging. And he knows, this guy's throwing 98. Okay, I'll just get the barrel in a good position, not overswing. I might be late on it, but guess what? There's a hole over there. Drives in a run.
Now runners on first and second, 2 out for the 9th man to hit in the inning. And Kike Hernandez takes a strike. 0-1. Dodgers sent 10 men to the plate in the 3rd last night. Trying to avoid the big inning. Haven't been able to here today. Dodgers had 8 men come to bat in the 2nd this afternoon. But only scored twice. They left the bases loaded. This time they've cashed in.
I think that quality slider from Winginter is really going to help his game. I mean, he throws 98, 99. Location is very, very key. But throwing that early in the count for strikes and fastball counts where he wants to, that's going to be key.
Did it against Machado. Hernandez able to hold up here.
Wow.
I thought he went.
I thought he did too.
You always do, though. You have no credibility in that conversation.
Because they always go. Guarantee you he went on that one.
I mean, I said I thought he did, so.
They go every time.
It's interesting wording in the rule book, right?
There is no wording, right?
It's about the intent.
Well, an intent to me is when a guy does that. That's his intent.
Intent is hard because then you're asking the umpires to like read the guy's mind.
Okay, I'm putting a pencil on your scorecard.
It's a pen, first of all.
Okay, a pen. Reach for that pen and then stop. Your intent was to reach it, and then you changed your mind.
You don't know that. My intent might have been to reach for a cough drop or for a drink of water. Can't read my mind. 3-1. Outside, ball 4. Bases are loaded, and the Dodgers have batted around here in the 4th. Freese goes to 3rd, Machado to 2nd, and now Kike Hernandez at first base. Matt Kemp led the inning off with a double. He came in to score on the home run by Barnes, and now he gets another shot. Big day so far.
And this is where Matt Kemp slows down the game, right? I mean, he realizes that Winginter's in trouble. Bases are loaded. He can let Winginter come to him. Even strike in this situation, even strike one, I've always felt for hitters okay. Because then they start to nitpick a little bit. Maybe a first pitch slider right here.
Kemp is a solo homer and a double. He scored twice, and he takes a fastball down the middle. Eight career grand slams.
I think Matt wanted to get a look at the old number 1. Taking that fastball.
Now in the hole, no balls and 2 strikes. 7 of those slams, by the way, have come in a Dodger uniform. One off the franchise record held by former Padre Mike Piazza. On 0-2, he laces it into left, and it'll drop down for a base hit. 1 run has scored. Renfroe dropped it. 2 runs will check in, and the Dodgers have blown it open here in the 4th. What a day for Matt Kemp.
Well, the lug nuts loosen and the wheels coming off as Matt Kemp protecting with 2 strikes up and in. And once again, get to that baseball. It's on the handle. Too good of an 0-2 pitch. He fights it off well. There's the bobble. Dodgers adding on. They got a snowman up there now. 8-0.
Now Dozier with 2 on and 2 out. The 11th man to bat here in the 4th. Now 4 for his last 49. In again, and now 2-0. Dozier pops it up. Mejia will give it a look, but that'll be into the seats and out of play.
Don't worry, Austin Hedges will catch that.
That guy won't.
That was right in his breadbasket, and it bounced off his hands into the road to that guy right there. He was facing us, and then the fan on the right got it. That's a big league hang with him. Bigger lanyard, by the way.
Well, he's got a tablet.
Oh my gosh! Now he's full of excuses, right? He's saying, "Well, I did this and I did." No, you should have caught it.
She's giving him some tips, yeah. She nudged him. You'll get him next time, kid. 2-2 now. Dozier takes, and that will end the inning. The Dodgers, though, score 6 runs on 6 hits and take an 8-0 lead to the 5th. By Petco, the pet company, and by Hyundai. At Hyundai, the longer you look, the more there is to like. And right now, there's a lot to see at your Hyundai dealer. Under the palm trees here at Dodger Stadium, all good for Hyunjin Ryu. He has allowed 1 hit in 4 shutout innings, and his offense has showed up in a big way. The Dodgers an 8-0 lead after 4 innings.
Rich Hill had the same situation. He had a lot of padding to work with last night. He went 7 as the Dodgers scored that 5-run third, enabled him to go 7 innings.
Mejia leading off. He takes a curveball for a strike. Ryu's last start was also really good. That was Monday in their win over the Rockies. He went 7 shutout innings against Colorado and only allowed 4 hits. Ryu missed a big chunk of time this season. He was out from early May through mid-August with a torn groin.
Yeah. Just saying that hurts.
It does. But he's come back and looked really, really good. And at home this year, 4-2 with a 1.29 ERA.
You hear of guys pulling a groin, right, and then on the shelf for a little bit. When the word tear,
off the bone.
Yeah, not good.
Last year he's finally healthy. He's had shoulder issues, and it just seemed like there was always something going wrong for Ryu physically. Made 24 starts a season ago, but was not on their postseason roster as they made the run to the World Series. Outstanding so far this afternoon. Eric Hosmer's lead single in the second inning, the only base runner that the Padres have had so far. Mejia trying to change that. It's a fair ball. Turner long throw, no chance. Infield single for Francisco Mejia, and the Padres have their leadoff man aboard here in the fifth. Sent it a few times the last couple of weeks. Mejia runs pretty well.
Yes, he does. And Turner does everything he can right there on the short hop. No way that they're going to get Mejia. And from the right side, picks him up, puts him down quickly. Infield single.
Galvis is 0 for 1, and he taps that one foul. Freddie hit his 13th home run of the season here this weekend, most by a Padres shortstop since Khalil Green hit 27 in 2007.
Boy, he was good. Defensively, offensively, man, he made you say wow almost every night. And you got desensitized to it as the season went on. He'd make a play, turn to double play. It was like, okay. He got spoiled.
Freddie's made a great defensive play today. Speaking of being spoiled.
First call I made, Jesse, when the Padres acquired Galvis was to Larry Bowa. I've told this story before, but I want to say it again because he's hit 13 home runs, right? Mm-hmm. One of the first things that Larry told me on the phone was, he'll hit 10 to 15 for you. And what do you know? He's at 13 right now.
Larry Bowa knows baseball.
Yes, he does. Pretty darn good shortstop himself.
Say he knows shortstops as well. Good eye by Galvis, and the count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ryu making his 3rd start of the season against the Padres. Now 22 strikeouts and 1 walk.
Quality strike. You know, it boils down to being simple. Quality strikes, being able to pinpoint, and then expand off the zone a little bit just to entice those hitters.
I loved how Andy Green described Rich Hill last night. It's a very similar thing. He says simple but difficult. You kind of know what it is. You know, there's not a lot of mystery to these guys. They've been around. The approach is pretty consistent. That doesn't make it easy.
If I had to teach kids, if they want to be pitchers, you're going to work on, first of all, throwing a fastball 8 out of 10 times where you want. You're going to get a brick wall and you're going to spray paint the quadrants of the strike zone. And you're going to pepper down and away, down and in. Up and away, up and in. And also,
broken bat flare, and that'll be a base hit for Freddie Galvis. Padres with 2 men aboard here against Ryu in the 5th.
You know what else I'm going to do, Jesse? I'm going to spray paint little dots about 6 inches off the strike zone. Okay, let's say this is the strike zone, right? We talked about the 4 quadrants.
Yeah.
Pepper it here, here, here. I'm going to spray paint that ball right here because 2 strikes. I want you to be able to throw that ball with a purpose.
Yeah.
We're always ingrained in our hits, strike, 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 strikes. Well, guess what? Bang, 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 bang. Well, you got to throw the ball off the plate with conviction and authority, right?
If you put it where you want to put it.
Yeah. And you don't have to throw that hard to do it.
Margot goes after the first pitch and a pop up on the infield. The infield fly called, and that's the first out of the 5th. Galvis stays put at first base. Margot now 0 for 2.
Then if you're able to create a little bit of movement and hit your spots, hey, that's going to be fun.
Location most important, then movement, then velocity.
Yep.
what everybody says.
Yep, absolutely.
One out for Spangenberg. Number 8 hitter swings through the fastball. A.J. Ellis has stepped into the on-deck circle to face potentially at least his former team. Not seen A.J. in this series yet. No balls and 2 strikes.
Did you have a pitch back as a kid?
Sure.
Did you really?
Yeah, absolutely.
How sweet were those?
They're very cool. I used to wail on the garage door too for ground balls and line drives.
Really?
Yeah. Tennis ball.
We had a basement, had the, the brick wall to where I would throw balls up against there and kind of, go to my right, go to my left for fielding.
I mean, hours in the driveway. Just tennis ball off the garage door.
Hours for me with my dad out on the front sidewalk.
Same.
He was my catcher. Best catcher I ever had, Larry Grant.
Good framer. Got you the low pitch.
Yeah, here's what my dad would do. I'd throw, because we lived on a block in the neighborhood, and nothing behind my dad, so I'd bounce one or something. He'd be in his work clothes, and he'd point behind him. He goes, "I'm a receiver, not a retriever. Get on it."
It's a good line. 0-2 to Spangenberg is on the outside edge, and strike 3 called. Back-to-back singles to start, but now Ryu with his 6th strikeout of the afternoon. 2 on, 2 out, and Ellis will pinch hit.
And there's that control we're talking about. It's the fastball, freeze fastball outside corner. You cannot place it any better.
A nice ovation here for A.J. Ellis as he's introduced. And Rick Honeycutt going to go visit with Ryu. A.J.'s had 10 at-bats here as a visiting player and gone 4 for 10.
That's a 400 average, right?
Yes, it is.
That was a nice ovation. Very nice.
Very nice. He has had a very, very good year for the Padres, and not just because of those offensive numbers, which are really impressive, especially when you consider the role. The way he's worked with the young pitching staff alongside Austin Hedges, now Francisco Mejia as well, really helping to take those guys under his wing.
And realizes and embraces his role, correct?
Absolutely.
Not bitter about it. He knows his place, what he means to this club.
Mejia is at second, Galvis at first, and the curveball misses to Ellis. Told the story a few times, but back in spring training, one of my favorite exchanges in the media was Ellis telling a reporter he had been talking to Yasiel Puig about bat flips for when he takes Kershaw deep. Seeing Kershaw very close, basically his personal catcher for a lot of years, and so they passed that along to Kershaw, and Kershaw's retort was he should probably worry about making the team first. He did, and the Padres are better for it. 1-1 to Ellis. He got a fastball and fouls it back. 1-2. Ryu has been ahead all afternoon. He has not had a 3-ball count yet. Got it. Back-to-back strikeouts for Ryu. That's 7 on the afternoon, and the Padres strand 2.
will be the new network, home of Thursday Night Football, and the schedule we have on Fox this year is loaded. One huge can't-miss matchup after another. Thursday Night Football coming to Fox, Week 4. Now it's a game. Phil Maton following Trey Winginter as Phil enters his 44th game, ERA just over 4. He's got the fastball, the cut fastball. He's got the changeup and the breaking ball as well. So for Phil, his last time out was against the Giants, and that was back on Wednesday. Through an inning, he walked one Giant. Now it's 8-0 right here, but the idea is to put up a bagel, scoreless, quick innings here as we are in the middle of this ball game.
8-9-1 coming up for the Dodgers. Austin Barnes hit a 2-run homer in his last at bat. That happened to be last inning. The Dodgers scored 6 times against Joey Lucchesi and Trey Winginter in the 4th. They sent 11 men to the plate, and Barnes will be followed presumably by Ryu and then Chris Taylor. Hard hit, but right at Freddie Galvis. He handles that with ease. And just a couple of pitches for the first out for Phil Maton here in the bottom of the 5th. Some afternoon at the plate for Hyun-Jin Ryu.
And as a pitcher, you got to go out there as if it's 0-0, same intensity for Phil Maton. He is that type of pitcher. He is that type of kid, quite the competitor. And he knows he can't shut his toolbox right here against Ryu.
Ryu does have one career 3-hit game, may get another. That one will go into the left field corner and might be extra bases. See how Renfroe plays it, and he'll hold Ryu to a long single. In April of 2013, his first year in the big leagues, he had a 3-hit game in Arizona against the Diamondbacks, and now 5 for his last 5 against the Padres this season.
You know, it probably would have been better if a fan reached over. It would have been better. It would have been a rule book double. This ball bounces. A chance for a fan, and Ryu, who does not run well, he just rounded first base and downshifted, put on the brakes, and says, you know what, I'll take the single.
Top of the order now, Chris Taylor. Mark Grant in his career, 7 hits in 104 at bats.
Yeah, how about that? What's that, 063?
067, don't short yourself.
All singles, too. No extra base hits in this guy's bat. How many walks?
Did you draw or allow?
That I drew.
10.
Huh.
So you reached base.
What's my on-base percentage?
17 times. Your on-base percentage, a robust career 164.
Nice. What's my WAR?
WAR is not just a hitting stat, you know. They'll take the whole thing and put it together.
Talking sabermetrics.
2.1 for your career. That's not good. I hate to tell you. No, 2.1 would be good for like half a season. Really good for half a season or a full year, but over the course.
Well, I pitched half a season because I pitched in like 65 games.
Sure, yeah.
No, I never pitched in 65 games. I think my total was 51, maybe.
So Clayton Kershaw this year has a WAR of 4.3.
Right.
Cumulatively in your entire career, 2.1. So by that metric, no offense,
really good.
He's twice as valuable this year as you were your entire major league career.
All right, that puts it in perspective. But I could have told you that without even.
Sure, no, we didn't need WAR to know that
right.
about Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah.
Not about you. I mean, he's much better than most guys we've ever done. You got on base in your major league debut, though, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Got hit by a pitch.
How many times did the benches empty?
Twice.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well struck to right. Franmil back towards the corner. He's got room. And out number 2 here in the 5th. There's a lot of things I really like about you. But the fact that there were 2 bench clearing incidents in your major league debut, you might be at the top of the list.
Yeah, it was quite an eventful evening in Cincinnati, April 27th, 1984. Joe Price hit me. I hit Ron Oster. Because
Yeah, I was going to say, tell the whole story here.
Well, he was popping off because I got him to pop out in foul territory his first at bat. So I went to the bench that half inning, and Scotty Thompson and Joel Youngblood said, hey, he was yelling at you in the dugout, ripping you up and down. Next time he comes up, you know, throw one inside, back him off the plate. So he came up to the plate his next at bat, and I hit him in the ribs. So the bench is clear. No punches were thrown, and then I came up my half of the inning, and Joe Price, the soft tossing left-hander, hit me in the leg, and bench is cleared again.
Were you expecting it?
The first pitch was down by my feet. I had to skip a little rope, and I thought that was going to be the message. But then the next pitch, he hit me. Yeah. Yeah.
That was your first, like, 2 hours in the big leagues.
Yeah, first 2 hours. Yeah. Very eventful.
Very. Helped out that on-base percentage, getting hit by that pitch, eh? Turner struck out against Lucchesi in the first inning. He's 0 for 3 on the day.
See, that's the strength of this lineup, Jesse, right? Turner can go 0 for 4, but then you look at the other guys. Of course, Machado, the home run of the single, but Kemp, 3 hits. Ryu helping his cause. 1 or 2 guys can go 0 for, wear the collar in the afternoon, but it's the other guys that can pick them up.
To say nothing of the bench. Yeah, to your point, top 3 in the order today for the Dodgers. Taylor, Turner, and Freese are combined 1 for 7, 1 for 8 now. A couple of walks in there, but still. Big day for Matt Kemp today. 2 hits in the 4th inning. A home run in the 2nd. He's 3 for 3. Obviously, September is a little bit different with the rosters being expanded, and kind of that situation is what it is. You look at some of the available guys off the bench for the Dodgers. Their home run leader, Muncy, Jock Peterson, who homered yesterday, Cody Bellinger, who can certainly go deep. Puig is on the bench today. Those are options. Ryu goes on 3-2, and that's a fair ball inside the bag and down the left field line. Ryu will be held up at third base by Chris Woodward, but it's a double for Justin Turner, so he puts himself in the hit column. And now 11 hits for the Dodgers on the afternoon.
Turner likes the spin on the fastball. He will turn on the breaking ball as well. Maton, little cut fastball in.
For the Dodgers, number 13.
How many times have we seen that Justin Turner in between the third baseman and the third base pillow for extra bases? Dodgers trying to pile on here.
Mention the options on the bench, and Maton, the right-hander, on the mound now, not the lefty Lucchesi, who started. And you got a pinch hitter, Max Muncy. 33 home runs, leads the Dodgers. He started at first base yesterday, 1 for 5 in this series. Came off the bench on Friday night as well. Rockies continue to lead in Arizona, now 2-0 Colorado. That game in the 6th inning. If both results hold, it'll be a game and a half that separates the first place Dodgers from the second place Rockies going into the final week of the season. Muncy takes a good breaking ball, and now 0-2. So they've got a guy coming off the bench a lot here lately who was in the home run derby this season.
Yeah, how about that?
_21st pinch hit appearance for Muncy. 4 hits, including a couple of homers.
He was a non-roster invitee this year to spring training for the Dodgers.
Signed as a minor league free agent last April. Spent all of last season at AAA Oklahoma City.
Most home runs he's ever hit in a season was 21 back in Stockton in 2013. That's A-ball in the California League.
Now he's got 33 in the bigs. That is a base hit. Ryu will score. Turner is going to be waived. Franmil comes up throwing. Not in time. 2 more for the Dodgers. 10-0 Los Angeles.
Well, when it rains, it pours. On a sunny day in Los Angeles, it's pouring runs for the Dodgers. There's a breaking ball once again that's left up in the zone. Max Muncy speeds up his bat, pulls it to the right side through the hole. Everybody's off and running. Chris Woodward, the third base coach for the Dodgers, getting a workout on that right shoulder of his, sending Dodger runners home this afternoon.
Muncy's 5th pinch hit of the season. Now Machado, who's 2 for 3 with a home run. And Maton in front of him. Solo shot in the 2nd, the RBI single in the 4th. He has also scored 2 of the 10 Dodger runs.
How many Dodger dogs have you crushed on this trip?
0.
Come on.
Slicing towards the line. Reyes not going to get there. Fair foul. It's a foul ball. I am not a Dodger dog guy. We have talked about this before.
Yeah, you think they're overrated?
I think they're totally overrated. I know you disagree. I think it's good marketing, good branding. I think if it was just called a hot dog, you know, people would be like, oh yeah, it's a hot dog at the game. But they came up with a cute name. There's a little logo for it. They're not good dogs.
I believe that it's a good quality dog. No. It's Farmer John, easternmost in quality, westernmost in taste. That's why I think they're so good.
That was very good. I can't compete with that.
Farmer John.
What do you put on your Dodger dog?
You know, I'm gonna get railed when I say this.
Oh, are you a ketchup guy?
I put mustard.
Yeah, sure, that's normal.
But I just put a little dab of ketchup. Don't give me that look.
Runner goes on 3-2. Machado strikes out. Enjoy your Dodger dog. 10-0 Dodgers after 5. They hit 3 home runs in last night's game. They've done it again this afternoon, and we're only through 5 innings. Matt Kemp with a birthday bash. That was the second one in the second inning after Machado led off that inning with a homer. And then another, Austin Barnes, a 2-run shot in the 4th. Matt Kemp would continue his big afternoon in the big inning, a 2-run single in the 4th. The Dodgers would score 6 times in that inning, and they have a 10-0 lead after 5 innings here this afternoon. Dodgers have spread it around against the Padre pitchers. Lucchesi gave up 7. Wingeter charged with a run, and now 3 runs allowed by Phil Maton. Hyun-Jin Ryu, meanwhile, is through 5 shutout innings, having only allowed 3 hits. Top of the order against Ryu here in the 6th inning. Myers, Reyes, and Renfroe, none of whom have reached base so far. Hosmer with a single in the 2nd, and then back-to-back singles to start last inning for Mejia and Galvis. Good curveball, and now 1-1. Myers on the ground foul, a ball and 2 strikes.
It's like a spring training game.
Little Camelback Ranch for you.
Yeah.
Dodgers made a bunch of defensive changes here with a double-digit lead in the middle innings. Final week of the season, keep everybody as fresh as possible. Move some things around. Myers well struck to left. Jock Peterson just into the game, watches it go over his head and off that American League scoreboard. Myers hustling for 2. He's there with a double. Will, a couple of hits in each of the first 2 games of this series, including a 2-run double in the 9th inning on Friday night, and he adds to his total here this afternoon.
Boy, one of the few mistakes that Ryu has tossed plateward this afternoon, and Will Myers takes advantage of it, even though with the score being 10-0 here. Cannot give away at-bats. Will crushes that one. He's thinking 2 right out of the box.
Now Franmil Reyes trying to get back on the horse after he had the hitting streak come to a close. That's Chase Utley. There you go. Here are the guys still in the game. Kemp, Ryu, and Barnes. Everybody else has been moved around. Tigre Hernandez goes from center to 3rd. Taylor goes from left to short. Dodgers really do have about as flexible a roster as you'll ever see in baseball.
You just touched upon it last half inning, Jesse. The guys on the bench. You put those guys out in the field, middle of the ball game, and guess what? It still could be an A lineup.
Won't be quite this robust in October if they get there, but obviously a lot of options.
And still no Yasiel Puig in the lineup yet.
Rest of the day off for Turner and Freese and Machado and Dozier. Flailing 2-2. Well, Franmil obviously has been a great story from a baseball perspective. He is also, I think it's pretty easy to tell from our perspective, one of the more popular guys in that clubhouse. Even if you follow the Padre players, minors and majors, on social media, it seems like Franmil is popping up all of the time in everybody's feeds. He's got this great personality. He's kind of larger than life. And on top of that, which certainly helps, his English is outstanding. And Dennis Lind today wrote a nice little story in The Athletic about Franmil, and part of it touched on his ability to pick up English the last couple of years. And one of the things he did, he said, was his wife speaks English, and so his first few years in pro ball, they only spoke English at home to kind of practice and work on it. And he does credit, his ability to speak the language to some of the comfort level that he's had with the Padres this year. And look, it's certainly not a prerequisite by any stretch of the imagination, but it has to make things easier just from a normal day-to-day standpoint.
You're absolutely right. And I had the chance to interview him in Arizona the last time the Padres were playing the Diamondbacks, and for a pregame interview, and he couldn't have been more gracious with his time And you know what? Long answers too, right? Not shy by any means.
No.
Some guys might be shy in front of the camera, but not Fran Miel. Gave really good long answers and talked about his upbringing and what, you know, baseball meant to him. It was really refreshing. He's a good egg.
Yeah, his English good enough now. He says sometimes they speak Spanish at home, sometimes English. He's not too worried about it. But texting, always English, because he's working on writing. He's got speaking. He wants to get writing. Little cue shot. Muncy and Ryu a little bit late to cover. They say he gets there in time to get Hunter Renfroe. That'll be out number 2 as Myers advances to third base.
This was very, very close as the left-hander Ryu falling off to the third base side. Now he's got to really get it because Hunter Renfroe, he's hustling down the line and just gets the foot on the bag before Hunter makes contact. This will be a good look. Ball in the glove. Now the race is on and they got him.
Great look at it there. Ryu getting to the base just in time. So Myers hit third, 2 away, and Jose Perella will hit for Eric Hosmer. And you know what? After Ryu came down on first base on that play, he's kind of favoring his leg a little bit right now, or walking around a little bit funny. So Rick Honeycutt comes out. They've got an interpreter with him as well. Maybe scouting report on Jose Perella. Counting this appearance now, Perella has appeared in 7 of the last 8 games. A lot of opportunities to come off the bench, but a couple of starts at second base too. Let's see if anything happened here physically. Nice feed from Muncy, really was.
Does he have to extend? No, it looks like he's pretty well in stride to get the bag. And you know what? His reaction after he tagged the bag, he turned and looked good.
Yep.
That was a really good angle on that last one.
So Perella pinch hitting for the 3rd time in 3 games here this weekend. Takes the curve for a strike. Grounded out in the 7th inning on Friday. Struck out in the 8th inning last night. And now hitting with an opportunity to get the Padres on the board in the 6th inning this afternoon. That'll be over to Chase Utley. First chance for him. And the inning is over. 6 shutout frames for Hyun-Jin Ryu. Dodgers in front big. Strikeouts in 6 shutout innings, only 4 hits allowed, 3 of them singles, and he is cruising right along here this afternoon. Am I done? Is that it?
Hey, he did it with his arm and with the bat this afternoon.
3 for 3 at the plate for Ryu. With a couple of runs scored. Everybody's gotten in the act offensively. Rowan Wick will try and change that. Big right-hander coming out for his 8th appearance.
It's been a while since Rowan has been out there. Back on Sunday, the 16th, against the Texas Rangers. Pitched an inning, gave up 1 hit. He's held opponents scoreless in 6 of his 7 appearances to begin his major league career.
Perella pinch hit for Hosmer, stays in at first base, and Javi Guerra will give Freddie Galvis a few innings off over at short. Kike Hernandez is 0 for 2. Dodgers have 12 hits. He has not been involved in that, though he did draw a walk in the big 4th inning. Dodgers have had a 6-run inning and 2 2-run innings. You're talking about Dodger dogs last inning. How about this piece of trivia that was shared between innings by our crew here at Dodger Stadium? Originally, when they opened up this place in the early 60s, they were not called Dodger dogs.
Really?
They were called footlong dogs.
Ah.
And then they realized, well, they're not a foot. They were overselling.
Shy, like maybe a half an inch or so?
Sure. Whatever it wasn't a full foot. So they had to come up with a name. Hence the birth of the term Dodger dog.
Interesting.
That's the rest of the story. Spangenberg fighting the
no.
sun, and that just drops
guys.
in.
It's all ball bearings these days.
Hernandez was running all the way. He makes it to second base.
That's just poor communication. That ball's got to be caught.
It'll go down as a double, but obviously, yes.
Manuel's got to take charge. Manuel has got to take charge. And as a hitter, yeah, on a day like today, yeah, you run it out. Hey, even if you're frustrated, if you're ticked off, right? Take it out by running hard. Look at that, Hernandez standing on second base.
15th double of the season officially. Looked like Spangenberg had a bead on it. And now Matt Kemp, who's having a huge day on his 34th birthday. In the air, right center and deep. Margot tracking. This one he catches. Hernandez will tag to third, 1 away. Boy, Matt Kemp. 3-hit day, and now that.
Remember the cycle in Colorado as a Padre? Where did he hit the triple? In that general area a little bit where he just flew out. Maybe a little bit more towards center field, but he was trying to go that way on his triple when he hit for the cycle in Colorado as a Padre.
Chase Utley has become something of a fan favorite, and if the Dodgers do not make the playoffs, this will be his final home game. Announced he'll retire at the end of the season. "39 years old, grew up in Pasadena, played at UCLA, a 6-time All-Star with the Phillies, and of course a World Series title in 2008.
Really, really good career.
Guy manipulates the bat about as well as anybody of his generation, and with the infield drawn in, that's the risk you got to take with a man on third base. Utley is 0 for his last 13. He has seen the batting average fall to .219. Done a really nice job as a pinch hitter this year, though this is not a pinch hit appearance. He came on defensively in the top of the inning. The 1-2 from Wick, skipped in, and somehow Mejia kept the baseball pretty much in front of him.
We've seen a few of those today. Joey Lucchese with the breaking ball in the dirt, well out in front of home plate.
To the drawn-in infield, and Spangenberg makes the play. 2 down in the 6th.
Catcher number 15, Austin Barnes.
Routine grounder to second, right? Did you see him busting his tail out of the box down the line? I mean, he just wasn't given a courtesy run down the first base line. He was going all out. And that's the way Chase Utley's played his entire career.
So now runner on third, 2 away for Austin Barnes. A 2-run homer in the 4th inning. Got him. 3-pitch strikeout of Austin Barnes brings the 6th inning to a close. Nice job by Wick working around the lead double.
When I got hit, I was like, okay, just run the ball, just do what I can do best.
That's what I'm so proud of him about, is that he grew as a football player and knew what he needed to do to make himself better to come back and have a good junior and senior year.
He just has that natural feel for the game. Makes him special.
Inside San Diego Sports helps you get to know local high school running back Dorian Richardson. He's 3rd in the entire nation in rushing yards. Plus, you'll get the inside story on UCSD's bold move to Division I Tuesday right here after Padres Live.
Start of the 7th inning at Dodger Stadium. LA in front by 10, and Josh Fields comes out of the bullpen after a stellar afternoon from Hyunjin Ryu.
Josh Fields twirled an inning last night in the 7-2 Dodger victory. Bagels all the way across except for 2 strikeouts, his 44th game for the right-hander.
Struck out Perella and Galvis, not likely to face either one of those guys right here and right now. Francisco Mejia will lead off and bat left-handed for the first time this afternoon. Goes after the first pitch and sends it back towards Mark Grant, who is looking down. No balls and a strike. It's right beneath you.
How close was that?
10 feet.
Because I was filling in fields in my scorebook.
It's the first thing they tell you. Keep your eye on the ball.
Thank you.
Little grounder foul, 0-2. And he acquired from the Cleveland Indians in the Brad Hand trade a couple of months ago. Considered the #1 catching prospect in all of baseball. A week ago at Petco Park, he had a walk-off grand slam. Hits this one high, deep, but foul down the right field line. Speaking of the Indians, they accomplished something this week that's really pretty incredible. 4 pitchers with at least 200 strikeouts. That had never happened before. And Carlos Carrasco leading the way.
You know, this day and age, you talk about launch angle and guys trying to turn and burn, and the strikeout is very apparent. But still, each of these pitchers, they have wipeout pitches, right? They get ahead and they wipe hitters out.
It's the name of the game. Getting ahead is one thing. Closing the door is another. Ryu did a good job today for the Dodgers in all of those departments. 6 shutout innings, 4 hits, no walks, 8 strikeouts. He didn't even have a 3-ball count.
That's amazing.
He golfs that one into shallow right field. Utley, Taylor, both in the vicinity. Utley is calling, and he makes the catch. 1 away in the top of the 7th. Here you go, Hyun-Jin Ryu. This season, 3 starts against the Padres. 17 2/3 innings, 25 strikeouts, 1 walk.
That's dealing. We saw a lot of off-balance swings today, didn't we?
Yeah.
Way out in front, working under the baseball, the high fly balls, the weak ground balls. And then, of course, when that didn't happen, the strikeout.
Javi Guerra came on defensively last inning. Made his big league debut against the Dodgers back in Mexico. You might remember Major League Baseball allowed both teams to have an extra roster spot for that series. And Guerra was used as the extra guy. Pinch hit a couple of times down in Monterey. And now 1 for 9 in 7 big league games.
Does that seem like last week for you or last year?
Last year.
Monterey.
How about you?
Last year.
Yeah. It was early May. A lot of days in the baseball season.
Yeah, and you know what's going to be etched in my mind from that series? Not were the people great and everything, but when we were outside our booth, there's that little walkway. When Fernando Valenzuela had to be escorted out, and they had a chain of people on each side of him, holding like 12 deep, hand in hand, and Fernando was in the middle, being escorted out of the ballpark.
They got him to the golf cart, which took him down the ramp. But you're right, I've never seen anything. I mean, it was Secret Service level stuff.
There's Nando.
Eduardo Ortega, the great Spanish language voice of the Padres, he shared something with me that I didn't know the other day. The Dodgers honored Jaime Jarrín here this week. 60 seasons announcing for the Dodgers. And he said during the height of Fernando Mania, Jaime's broadcasts were on live nationally in Mexico every night.
That's great.
All 31 states in Mexico, they carried the Dodgers on the radio in Spanish. That's how big of a deal it was.
That's cool. Jaime's a good man from Ecuador.
Added to their Ring of Honor here before the game on Friday night. Base is empty, 2 away for Manuel Margot. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a pop-up. Fields trying to work a 1-2-3-7. Margot well struck, but Jock Peterson on the run will get there to make the catch. And it is a 1-2-3 top half of inning number 7. Well, on this Sunday afternoon at Dodger Stadium, we send you down to the field for the singing of God Bless America.
Ladies and gentlemen, on this Fan Appreciation Day, the Dodgers would like to thank you and the 3.8 million fans who filled Dodger Stadium this season. You are the greatest fans in all of baseball, and and we thank you for your dedication to the team.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the 7th inning stretch, presented by Coca-Cola. Please rise and join in the singing of Take Me Out to the Ball Game, led by organist Dieter Rule.
Dodgers LA with a comfortable lead here as Colton Brewer comes out of the bullpen for the 9th time. He is the 4th different reliever used by the Padres here this afternoon. Rowan Wick an effective 6th, and now we'll see what Brewer can do against pinch hitter Alex Verdugo. Takes one up and in. Ball and no strikes from the right-hander. Missing again, 2-0. Verdugo had a pinch hit single and scored a run in the bottom of the 9th inning on Friday night. We did not see him in yesterday's game. He had his first major league hit last September against Clayton Richard. Made his big league debut at Petco last September.
And once again, pretty good player coming off the bench, huh? Not bad.
Not at all. That's a hard hit ground ball through for a base hit. Pinch single for Alex Verdugo. So the number 9 spot this afternoon in the batting order for the Dodgers. 4 for 4 after Ryu had 3 hits.
Shortstop number 3, Chris Taylor.
So lead single against Colton Brewer. Now top of the order for Chris Taylor. Dodgers now 10 runs on 14 hits. They had 9 hits in each of the first 2 games of the series. Padres won on Friday night. LA even the series yesterday, and now certainly looking like they will take 2 out of 3. Rockies continuing to lead 2-0 in Arizona. That game now in the 8th inning.
Do you think that Colton Brewer sometime of his big league career would want to play for the Milwaukee Brewers?
I think he appreciates any big league opportunity he can get, but yes, that would be fun.
I'm sure he does.
He's thought about it.
Brewers across the chest, Brewer on the back.
Sure. He was born to pitch in Milwaukee. Is that what you're saying?
Right. Living the high life.
There you go. Javi Guerra to his left. Can't make the play. It'll trickle away, and that gets Verdugo to 3rd. Infield single for Chris Taylor, his first hit of the day.
Jesse, I thought that had double play written all over it, and Javi Guerra, it looks like he got to it, but then hits his glove, his arm, whatever.
Number 35,
gets away from him. He gets the benefit of the bounce. Boy, just can't catch it cleanly. And then great heads-up base running right there by Verdugo. That ball just kind of trickling into center field, and he takes the extra 90 feet.
So runners on the corners, nobody out. And center fielder Cody Bellinger will bat for the first time. Bellinger came on defensively in the 6th inning. Take over in center field. He took Justin Turner's spot in the batting order. Turner went 1 for 4 with a double and a run scored. Bellinger seems to always see a ton of pitches. And he's in front here, 2 balls and no strikes. His reign as the National League Rookie of the Year will come to a close in about a week. 39 home runs a season ago.
That was amazing, wasn't it?
It really was.
And, you know, in the playoffs, talk about scouting reports and getting to him. It's kind of exposed in the playoffs, that breaking ball down and in, right? They found a way to pitch to him. See if Brewer goes with that angle.
4-pitch walk here, and the bases are loaded with nobody out in the 7th. NL Rookie of the Year again this season. Certainly an interesting conversation. Probably comes down to a couple of guys in the National League East, Acuna and Soto. Put Walker Buehler's name in there certainly. A 12 strikeout game the other day against Colorado, but it'll be one of those first 2 guys.
Yeah, it's going to be close, don't you think?
Yeah.
Soto was called up later in the year. Acuna was out with injury right for a while as well, correct? And really good numbers.
Max Muncy with the bases loaded. His second at bat after pinch hitting in the 5th inning. Had a 2-run single then.
You touch the helmet and use it hot.
You have a favorite, Acuna or Soto?
You know what, to me right now, it's a pick'em. If I had to check a box, I mean, each guy has their case for them that warrants the award. But you know what? I'd probably go Acuna because of the Braves, right?
Yeah, I think that's what a lot of people would say. Team success.
Yeah.
You know what I like about Soto, and we got a chance to see it, you know, pretty early on in his call-up against the Padres. He's got that swagger to him.
He
you know,
does.
that little it factor, whatever you want to call it, the charisma. Got an edge.
He certainly does.
His rise, absolutely incredible. You know, so much talk about what he's done at the big league level. I mean, he's played at like 3 or 4 different levels this season. We saw them back, I think, in late May in Washington. He was just starting to show off everything he was capable of. He was the youngest guy in the majors when he came up. He started this year at low A Hagerstown. Went to high A in late April, then to double A in early May. And then 10 days later, he got the call up to the big leagues. That's quite the journey.
Yep. Hey, when you're 19, right, you can do that because you're good, you're excited, you want to make that trek to the big leagues eventually, and he's been paying dividends at the big league level.
This is up the middle and through for a base hit. 1 run has scored. Here comes Taylor. He will score. The throw goes to third. It gets away. And everybody will hold put. 2 more for the Dodgers. It's a dozen here in the 7th.
Ugly just got uglier. Getting extended. Well, you can see the extension of that swing right there by Muncy. And then throwing the ball around here. Well, not even close on the throw in.
That'll be all for Colton Brewer. Does not record it out here in the 7th. 3 hits, a walk, and so far a couple of runs. Also responsible for a couple of guys in scoring position. It is all Dodgers here in the 7th. Padres baseball brought to you by Sequan Casino, opening in 2019 as Sequan's brand new 300-room resort and hotel. 12-0 Dodgers here in the bottom of the 7th inning, out hitting the Padres 16-4. They have already scored twice more here in the 7th, and they continue to threaten with 2 men in scoring position, nobody out. And Jock Peterson coming to the plate for the first time. He'll face the new Padre pitcher, Kazuhisa Makita.
Well, it's been a while since Kaz has been out there on the hill. August 16th versus the Arizona Diamondbacks. 3 1/3. Just try to stop the bleeding right here. He inherits 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out. A tough duty right here for Makita to try to get out of.
Peterson came on defensively to play left field in the 6th. This is his first at bat. Makita does not get the call, and it's 1-0. The power has come back for Jock Peterson in 2018. Only hit 11 home runs in 102 games last year. One of the first things we learned about Makita is that he is the rare submarine guy who likes to work up in the zone.
Remember Andy Green talking about that in spring training. That's what he thought was going to play and have him be successful is, you know, he can pitch down in the zone, but pitching up that, you know, we talk about downward plane from pitchers. He's got the upward plane. And then that, remember in spring training, Peoria, what the radar gun have, like at 60 something?
62 maybe.
Yeah, on the breaking ball.
59 there. It's different, there's no doubt about that. He has struggled to make the adjustment in the big leagues. Been hit hard at times. It's always fun to see a guy come at it differently. That's hit hard, but right at Javi Guerra. A little bit of a low throw, but a nice dig by Perella. Bellinger checks in, and now unlucky number 13 for the Dodgers on the afternoon. Name of the game right now is getting out. He just does that. Kike Hernandez will get the rest of the afternoon off. Kyle Farmer going to pinch hit. Hernandez started the game in center, moved to third, and now will head to the bench. Farmer takes strike 1. First time we're seeing Kyle Farmer in this series, and he takes that eephus in the dirt. 1-1. Farmer's always done a nice job as a pinch hitter. 12 career pinch hits and only 31 at bats. That is hard hit and snagged at third base by Will Myers. Another RBI ground out, and now 14-0 Dodgers. Time now for the Bill Howe plays of the game. Matt Kemp on his birthday had himself a day. First time up, a home run. He got to bat twice in the 4th inning as well. He had a 2-run single. He doubled. He scored another run. And the only time Matt Kemp made out this afternoon was a fly ball basically to the wall in the 6th inning. So a very happy birthday certainly for Matt Kemp. And now he gets the rest of the birthday off as Andrew Tolles pinch hits for him. Dole's first appearance of the series, as the same for Farmer before him. We saw his 2018 debut here earlier this season, about a month and a half ago. Had the ACL injury that ended his year prematurely last season. He's back, he strikes out, and the 7th inning is done, but the Dodgers have added on. That's my NL MVP. How about that?
I would have to agree with you. Yes. The season he has put together, when he has put it together, and it's all good in St. Lou.
22-year-old Julio Urias out of the bullpen for the Dodgers. Speaking of the Cardinals, he made his season debut against them last weekend, and this is a guy who's had some serious shoulder stuff the last couple of years. They're still very excited about Urias, and still just 22 years old.
Reinstated from that DL September 10th, and as Jesse mentioned, more than a year following left shoulder surgery in June of 2017. So in a game like this, Dave Roberts puts him out there to get an inning of work in.
Corey Spangenberg leading off. So it's lefty versus lefty here as Toll stays in the game to play right field. Farmer stays in the game to go to third base. And former Padre Rocky Gale makes what is officially his Dodger debut behind the dish. Rocky's been up most of the month of September but hadn't gotten into a game yet. And now 0-2. You know what you would say about Rocky Gale? Good egg.
Yes, I remember him as a Padre. I remember talking to him a little bit, and he's the kind of kid you root for. I mean, he's been in the minor leagues a long time.
Seems like Urias has been on the radar forever. That's why it's crazy that he's still only 22 years old. And he strikes out Spangenberg. That is the 10th strikeout by Dodger pitching this afternoon, and one out in the top of the 8th.
MLB At Bat is your #1 app to watch live Padres baseball. Customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Padres home screen icons, features such as the MLB.TV Game of the Day, longer read, pitch tracking, in-game highlights, live radio broadcast, stats, news, and more. Download MLB At Bat today.
Third Major League plate appearance for Kazuhisa Makita. He's 0 for 2 with a strikeout, and he takes high. The 1-0 to Makita. Hit pretty well, but fouled down the right field line. Another good swing and slice just foul up that right field line. So Makita now behind 1-2. In this series, we've seen Kirby Yates take a turn at bat. We're seeing Makita get an opportunity to hit.
And Ryu has set the bar this afternoon for the Dodgers.
Strike 3 called, and 2 up, 2 down. Back-to-back strikeouts for Urias.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the San Diego Padres and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the San Diego Padres.
Myers doubled his last time, the only extra base hit for the Padres this afternoon. Only 4 hits total. All against the starter Ryu. Josh Fields worked to 1-2-3 7th, and now Julio Urias trying to do the same in the 8th. Love a single-digit pitcher.
I do too. I'm a big fan. I think of Marcus Stroman wearing number 6. Mike Leake, remember he wears number 8. I don't know if he does now, but I remember him with the Cardinals, wore number 8.
Ottavino in Colorado wears the 0.
See, he should go 00 because he's got bookends O's on his name.
I like that. Good changeup 1 and 2.
I remember back in the day, Atlee Hammaker. I was a teammate of Atlee's in San Francisco. He went with number 7. You didn't see that a lot in the 80s.
Yeah, very rare. A little bit of a trend now. You feel it heating up a bit. Just looks funny though, doesn't it?
It does. It looks like Little League, doesn't it? It looks like, and I'm not saying Urias is a Little League pitcher. I'm just saying it looks like one of your pitchers just has a single digit during a Little League game and he's out there pitching. Well, if you had a single digit number, what would you wear?
As a pitcher?
Yeah, any position player.
I was always number 8 growing up.
8's a good look because of Gary Carter?
Yeah. How badly did you ever want to wear 50?
I did. But Scott Garrelts had it with the Giants. $50 bill. Finally got to Seattle later in my career. 50 was available. I said, hey, who's on the $50 bill?
Grant.
Ulysses. Sorry about it.
That way you hung on at the end. You just wanted that chance.
Yeah.
55 looked good on you, though. It was a good number.
I liked 55. And you know who was kind of inspirational at that? Oral Hershiser, because very few pitchers back in the day wore kind of like the high numbers like that. Oral Hershiser came to the big leagues the same year I did, I believe in 1984. Oral may have 1983, but he wore 55.
You can see it right now live. Yeah. He is wearing 55.
Love Oral. He's awesome.
Throughout the first pitch today. The bobblehead is there, honoring, there it is, the bobblehead, the scoreless inning streak in '88. Set the record at the Murph.
Had to throw 10 shutout innings to break the record, and he threw 10 shutout innings.
Last start of the season.
Unbelievable.
It really is. Reese, by the way, he's got eye trouble, so he wears the glasses. So you see a pitcher with glasses and a pitcher with a single digit. 2 rarities.
Wow.
Myers battling him pretty good here.
First guy I remember watching big league TV as a kid, because we only got the Cubs station, WGN, was the brother of Rick Russell, Paul Russell.
The other Russell.
Yeah, and my high school coach, the big joke was there never was a Paul Russell. Rick just put on glasses. Because they look so much alike.
Another 3-2 to Will. Myers takes strike 3. Julio Urias in his second big league appearance of the year strikes out the side. Projected starter for the Padres in San Francisco is Brian Mitchell. Continuing to try to string something together here the last couple starts of the season for him. Derek Holland, the lefty, scheduled to go for the Giants. Erlin and Lauer, the projected starters on Tuesday and Wednesday for the Padres. Possibly Bumgarner on Wednesday, although it sounds like there's a chance the Giants could hold him back for that last series of the season against these Dodgers. Utley to lead it off. Grounded out as a defensive replacement in his only other at-bat today. The crowd went crazy for him when he came in. Final regular season home game of his major league career. And Makita falls behind 2-0. Talking about your upbringing in the greater Chicago area. If Joliet technically falls into that, I don't know. And certainly a pretty big piece of baseball news and history. A chapter coming to a close today in Chicago.
Yeah, with Chase Utley, his final at-bat possibly here, right? Like you mentioned, Hawk Harrelson, Ken Harrelson, announced for the White Sox for many, many years. Went from the booth to general manager, back to the booth, and
Utley to left and deep, but Renfro's there.
Say what you want about Ken Hawk Harrelson, as you know what? Listen to this crowd for number 26.
That's your number 58.
Hey, say what you want about Hawk Harrelson. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan, and I'll tell you why. He's not afraid to speak his mind, right? And when he was hired for that job back in the day, I'm talking back when he first went to the booth, the owners, Eddie Einhorn, Jerry Reinsdorf, they said to him, "We want you to be the biggest homer for this team ever." And Hawk said, "You got the right guy." Right?
Yeah.
And you know what? Everybody's got their own style, and not one way's better than other than, you know, it's subjective. Everybody's got their own opinion. But I love his personality. I love that he's a baseball guy. Had a good baseball career. He was an all-star in 1968. Was third in voting in the MVP during the course of his career. So anyway, it's quite a career coming to an end for Ken Hawk Harrelson.
If you are not a White Sox fan,
you hate him.
Your opinion doesn't matter. That's what I was going to say.
Right.
He is there for the fans of that team.
That's right, and I see nothing wrong with that.
I agree. He's a beauty. He is totally unique, one of a kind, all those kinds of cliches. And it's theirs. He is theirs.
Right.
He's different.
That's a good way of putting it.
But he's their guy. Let's take a look back at our keys to the game. They were brought to you by San Diego Honda dealers.
Well, I'm going to give myself an F. Ruined Ryu's day. He went 6 innings, pitched very well. No earned runs. He struck out 8, and a good first impression here at Dodger Stadium. First appearance for Joey, 3 2/3, 7 hits, 7 earned runs. You know, Hawk loves to play golf too. Big time golfer. He actually played in the British Open in 1971.
That's incredible.
Yeah. He go. There was a play the other day. Cubs were playing the White Sox this weekend, right? At 35th and Shields on the south side.
You mean guaranteed rate field?
Yeah. And I forgot who the Cub was. Left-handed hitter hits it deep down the right field line. Hawk says, "Get foul. Get foul. Get foul." It didn't. Cubs on the board, 1-0.
Makita strikes him out. Mercy.
We go.
Hyun-Jin Ryu, 6 shutout innings. He allowed only 4 hits, didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 8. He will improve to 3-0 this season against the Padres. He's 6-3 overall. He's really kept San Diego off balance. Oh, by the way, he also did it at the plate. 3 for 3, his second career 3-hit game. Scored a couple of runs. And in his last 2 starts against the Padres, Mark Grant, he is now 5 for 5 at the plate.
He's an athlete. He's a really good athlete. Don't let the stature fool you, because he did it both with the arm and the shillelagh this afternoon. And he threw quality pitches from the start to the. In fact, you know, Jesse, I think he threw 1 mistake today, and that was off the bat of Will Myers to double in the 6th inning, because it was right down the middle of the plate in a little bit. Other than that, he was hitting the corners and he was lights out.
Maria struck out the side in the 8th inning, struck out himself in the bottom half, and now out there to get the final 3 out. Padres' scheduled hitters are Reyes, Renfroe, and Perella. Padres, as mentioned, will conclude this final road trip of 2018 in San Francisco. Game 1 coming up tomorrow night. Coverage at 6:30 here on Fox Sports San Diego. 3 with the Giants. Day off on Thursday. And then the final weekend of the season at home against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Padres and Dodgers will next get together in the regular season the weekend of May 3rd, 2019 at Petco. The Padres will not play here again until the middle of next May. Dodgers in position to win for the 9th time in their last 11 games. Rockies continuing to lead at Arizona, now in the top of the 9th inning. 6 games, a 1.5 game lead. That's what it looks like it'll be for Dave Roberts and the Dodgers. They've won this division 5 years in a row, and likely not going to happen as a wild card this year for the team that finishes 2nd in the West. So
yeah, 3 teams last year from the West, and with the way the pendulum has been swinging the course of this season, I mean, stay tuned to this one. More to come. How about Clayton Kershaw with the old school flip downs? Love that.
Day game. That's pretty good.
That's awesome. Boy, if you had a pair of those as a kid when I was growing up, you were the man. It's almost like Ed Rooney in Ferris Bueller. Remember, with his glasses? Ed Rooney.
Taylor, the shortstop, throws out Franmil Reyes, and after the big hitting streak, back-to-back hitless games for the Padre outfielder, 1 away in the top of the 9th inning. You made it all the way to like the early 80s with your references in 9 innings.
Or maybe the OptiGrab from The Jerk, remember? Use the OptiGrab.
Another modern reference. Any movies with glasses made in the last 20 years?
You know what? I can't think of one. Oh, Ed, you sounded like Dirty Harry right there.
Remember when we said Hawk Harrelson was one of a kind? It applies to you as well, my friend.
It's great working with you today.
You as well.
As always.
Don will be back tomorrow. And he's got the Giant series. You and I believe, will handle things next weekend against the D-backs.
That's right.
That's well struck into center field for a base hit. So Hunter Renfroe with the 5th base hit of the day for the Padres, his first.
First baseman number 2, Jose Pirela.
Dodgers, by the way, even with a win today, this is their worst home record since 2011. And there was a time, I remember when we came here the first time earlier in the summer, where they were really struggling at home, and it was one of those weird mysteries. Didn't make any sense. Obviously figured it out a bit. And look, you said it, I think, in our game open before the first pitch was even thrown. It's all window dressing for this team. They got to win the World Series. That's it. That's the goal. That's what they're out to do. And if they don't, it'll be considered a failure, I think, by everybody around here.
Big time disappointment. I'm right there with you.
So home record this, day record that, whatever it is, it is. as Perella pops one up into shallow right center. Padres down to their final out.
Hey, payroll, acquisitions at the deadline.
Expectation, history.
Yep.
Catcher number 27, Francisco Mejia.
Couple of young guys. Urias on the hill, 22 years old. Francisco Mejia at the plate, and you just sort of envision years of battles between these two. Both 22 years old. Both with incredible talent. A couple of years ago at spring training, I remember, I think he was 17. And at the last moment, the Dodgers said, oh, by the way, we got this kid, he's going to pitch today. It was supposed to be somebody else. And I think he struck out the side 1, 2, 3. Pitched the top of the first. That was it. And it was like, whoa.
17-year-old.
17. And he struck out, I remember, Alonso. I mean, it was real starters. But the injuries have been an issue. Still, though, only 22 years old. What remains of a crowd of over 50,000 here at Dodger Stadium comes to their feet. Final regular season home game here in the Ravine this year. They will end it with an exclamation point. Mejia strikes out. It's over. And the Dodgers have a 14-0 win in the final game of the season between these two teams. Padres Live post-game show is next with Mike Pomerantz. What have you got?